I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the lighter. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. Bigger they are, harder they fall.
Hello, and welcome to our first attempt at playing a new RPG system. Like many of you, we have been talking about a topic that is on a lot of people's minds, the switch from the Dungeons & Dragons systems to many other RPG systems, many available. And for those who don't know, the role-playing games we play allow players to create characters with stats and embark on new adventures in the outside world, but this world is not like Earth. But in the game of D&D, that has been a bonded companion most of our childhoods. It is sad to depart from such an established system, yet under many layers of dust, what we have found was a far more customizable game that gave us options for character creation, including a wider range of classes and abilities, feats and traits, allowing us greater freedom in rebuilding the characters we spent many months reflecting on. The first episodes of our game are done in a different system, but from now on, we will start anew in Pathfinder. Ultimately, the decision to switch from one system to another comes down to personal preference. As much as we enjoy those who follow along, it is important to find a game that appeals to our play style, whether simplistic, complicated, or something in between. There are hundreds of role-playing games out there to choose from and that allow you to fully immerse yourself in the world you make together. So, there you have it. Don't forget to like and follow us, and let's jump into our game. It began in the dark. Now, at the depths of night, a roaring crowd yells to soldiers, taunting them to kill, to appease the raging mob at very early hours of the morning. Late at night, early in the morning, at this point there is a thick layer of clouds, dark clouds that cover the town that we find flooding. As the crowd draws the attention, the roaring crowd of all the guards in the area. Melior.
Yeah.
Beside the round tavern, a tall, square building, you see that everyone around you who appears to be defending this large, rectangular, upper square building is looking and gazing to the glow further into the central town's courtyard. You see, guarding the front door, interestingly, like a bug-eyed, furry dog or bestial-like hair, thick brown hair creature, massive, 7 feet tall, standing beside a human. Those two appear to be the only ones guarding the front entrance to this rectangular building, but you see there are many other side entrances, large enough to fit ogres through. They are unguarded. They lead to the closer to the upper levels of the inn side. Going through the front door is obviously not the best idea. Going through a side chamber is optimal, but what else would you like to do even before entering the tavern?
Do these guards seem on edge, or are they...
Certainly, but they appear like almost lost in the sight ahead of them. The crowd, which you, with keen elven ears, hear, kill, Kill! Strange chanting.
Rip that guy. Oh no. I'll try to go through one of the side entrances. I'm.
You're not gonna go to the horse? Your horse?
No. From my memory of being inside the main area, would I have seen like these side entrances from the inside? Okay.
Yeah, the big central area is on either side of the chamber where the front door is. It's along the bottom floor is a massive long rectangular building, even though it says it's called the Round Tavern. The central courtyard of this long rectangular building is a circular sand dirt where on either side of that central circle is these side exits, which are 10 foot wide, but have these rounded kind of exit circles, so a creature 20 feet wide could probably just squeeze out of it. So big, the whole bottom layer is just open, but only guards guard the front of the place that you notice.
Okay. I'm just gonna go to the closest entrance to me.
Okay, yeah. You enter through the side. You don't even go into the central pin where you can see no one is. There is dim light and the sound of quiet snoring.
Yeah, I'll stop in the entrance I go through for a second and just breathe and focus my hearing, see if I can hear anyone inside the main area.
There's some grumbles at the front from probably that rowdy bugbear looking creature. But further up from here, where before you definitely saw a scuffle, there is a patio. There is a second floor overlooking the long central room of the Round Tavern. This patio is actually on top of the cooking area, which is built inside of the building, where large walls kind of barricade the inner cooking space. Right above that, the patio, where you can see the stairs lead up, and the glint of metal as you see a guard head gently nodding, short, maybe dwarf, full plated, covered in metal, sits slumped on a.
Oh, the Duragon lady has short chairs for short people. Who's fun?
Alright, what do you do? There's only one stairway up to this patio before you actually can go into the Round Tavern, into the upper areas of the Round Tavern. What do you do?
He looks like he's dozing.
Does.
Okay, I'm just gonna try to, as stealthily as possible, move past him and go up.
Absolutely. Make me that stealth check.
I'm good at these. 26.
26. Oh, well, it's not needed for this roll, but for the audience's sake, any DC base level, which I don't have to say, I will often say for players, can be added to by a pool of points that I've given to my new players in a new game we're experiencing together that allow skills to be improved by a fueled group of points collected to the group.
Guys, give me your fucking points. I want to get a 30.
And
Give me 4 of your points right now. Give it to me.
If you donate, we get more points. $5 for 5 points.
Each player each player gets 5 of these points. So the group has 20 points they can donate to each other to help out their cause. And by the way, it doesn't necessarily just have to be if Nick rolls a die. It's not a character name. If Nick rolls a die, Caden can then offer to give points to him. What did you roll without adding bonuses?
26.
26. Cool.
17 plus 9.
17 plus 9.
Someone give me 4 points.
He's
I want a 30.
rogue. If you did not already know, he slips into the shadows, his thin, long, elven body, taller than every other person in the actual tavern that's currently in there. You see...
I'm 5'8".
5'8". Well, this...
But I got long legs.
Roughly 4.5 foot tall bodyguard, fully covered in metal. You slip past her without the head even reacting to your movements. But you do notice that there is a...
Does it look like a normal dwarf or a Durga?
There's a faceplate where you can only see basically a slit in the middle, and you notice there is a kind of greyish skin color.
Nice.
But obviously, fully covered in the metal, it would be impossible to tell unless she's asleep in your proximity right in front of you. That's surprising considering the kind of roar of a crowd outside. But you see, climbing up this kind of round stairway, you see the next set of stairs, past the patio, leading up back to the red rooms. Do you continue up?
As I'm going, I'll flip my cloak inside out so I have the nicely colored autumn leaves.
Nice. You,
It's my
Well,
nice mode.
why don't we be
Well,
nice
being
and
a
say,
nice guy.
because you're the first person to enter, let's get you to the camera. Describe what Melior looks like, stealthed in a cloak.
This is non-stealth mode, so I take my hood up. Normally my cloak is mottled black for nighttime stealthing. But my day apparel is lovely autumn, nice green autumn colors. It's got like leaf shaped stitched into the cloak. But yes, I am an elf. Sort of.
What is your skin and your eyes?
Sort of wood elf looking. I got long legs, long limb man. It's a nice light bronze tan skin and lovely honey colored eyes. With shoulder length brown hair that's tied up in a nice little thingy mabobby.
And small pockets where little items are stashed and held. You climb yourself up large, 5 foot wide stone steps that fit any size creature, probably even the horseman that you know. But as you make your way up and around, curving,
He's
bending
so
with
cool.
these stairs, make your way up about 20 feet before you see a kind of exit from this spiraling large stairs. You see crimson red cloth that just hangs over guarding a long hallway, and you can kind of see through it. Now, as you get here, you listen in, and you hear, and you can see a trail of smoke. Not from the far side, actually in the red room. One of the booths appears to be smoked up.
Nice.
These small side compartments, as you open the crimson curtains, a long crimson rug leads to the end door made of steel. You see red fabric covers these 10-foot wide booths where four rows of them, one on each side. You notice that only the furthest one, closest to the steel door at the end, appears to be gently pulling smoke down, drifting down the hallway in your direction.
Can I cover my face as I move past?
You walk past.
Mm.
You see what looks to be bald head, grey bald head, long white beard, short man, no taller than 4 feet tall. His appearance looks to be stout, but he is almost unnaturally scrawny. His muscle and skin taut.
Is it one of the same folks that saw Coffin during the daytime in the main area?
No, but of height similar, and they were really close, so you didn't get any features. No, this one he like is waving his hands and like trying to brush away the large kind of putrid smelling cloud.
What's he smoking?
It's definitely a tobacco, but in this world,
Lame.
with a dark brown moon, it smells like real, almost manure version of tobacco.
Delicious.
So, but he ignores you. In fact, as you look in his direction, he seems to go from waving the smoke to like waving at you.
What an asshole. Yeah, I'll move past him. I take this in one glance, but that's it.
You knock at the closed iron door.
I will.
It doesn't. There's no like bolt on the outside that you can see.
Was the lady dwarf guarding the stairs, or was she just vibing in the room?
She was at the first, basically the second floor, the patio, well down.
Did it seem like she was guarding the stairs, or?
Guarding the stairs, yeah, to the upper area.
Yeah, I get up to her door. It would be his door, and I go to knock and think twice, and then I turn around and go back downstairs.
Okay. The smoke guy just continues to wave, not even noticing you. Dart down through the curtains, down the stairs.
Yep. And I'll stand next to the dwarf lady.
You can see there are eyes there, but like almost big, swollen sockets. There is
Good evening.
there is barely a snore. It doesn't even move its head. Just at its angle, it's looking at your feet. What can I help you with?
I'm here to speak to Edmina.
She said she would be busy, but what is the time?
I believe it's somewhere not midnight yet. If you'd be so kind, could you tell her that Meliorn is here to see her?
She starts to stand up. She doesn't even fully take. She never looks above your waistline. Never looks up. Grumbles. You can see this really strange kind of smokers talk. You see it. She disappears up the stairs. You hear the clunk, clunk.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you look over the kind of patio, the long, where you stand at the further side, the back half? You can hear beneath you, even as you look out, there is a sound of hands clanging. Here, don't love me this. Strange. Honestly, sounds like people busy, strangely busy for being directly beneath you, and it's muffled enough with decent stone that you can only hear the louder parts of words, but it sounds like cooks doing something they should have done in the morning, but are doing now so they can sleep.
Fair.
As you look over, waiting for Edmina, you see at the far side, the bugbear and the human re-enter into the inside. They're at the furthest side, maybe 100 feet from you, in a total rectangular chamber. It's a long hallway. They don't actually look up and notice you. They just make their way in, out of the light at the front of the inn. They begin to just have a firmly worded conversation, quiet but firm, tucked to one side. It's literally the furthest possible part of the inn from you.
Can I try to eavesdrop from 100 feet away?
100 feet away?
I got long ears.
I think, yeah. Just give it a good perception roll. I'm going to say the DC is 25.
Okay, well, I got a nat 19 plus 8, so 27.
Yeah. See? Who needs ability point additions?
Can someone give me a plus 3? Give me 3 of your points right fucking now.
You can use your entry points.
We're not friends. None of you like me. I'm fucking...
You hear a horn. That's already after they moved in. You hear,
Nice.
pretty, the whispered lines that are a bit louder. Doesn't seem like this place is going to be safe for that much longer. You shouldn't be here if you know what's good for you. Look at it. No, thoughts? It's probably not the best place to go. I would say west, under the bridge, or south if you're willing to risk the wastes. You see the big fairy creature nods and puts his hand on the human shoulder, and the human sighs. I miss you, buddy. I miss you. And goes back outside where the bugbear seems to sit down at a close-by table, pulls out, it looks like a pipe, begins to smoke, and you hear behind you, clang, 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 an echoing small hallway. And then at the bottom of the stairs, the metal guard is behind Edmina. Edmina with a amber red hair, a face like a Durga, grey skin, puffy eyes, but unlike the Durga you saw before, who had these black pupilless eyes, she has amber, honey-coloured eyes, but the outer is black.
Never mind.
So an inner amber ring with black. More multi-racial than pure Durga, but as she comes down, you see she's holding scrolls or parchments bound in a thin, twine. They're familiar.
Edmina, thank you for meeting with me.
It is a very stressful time right now. Would you like to come upstairs?
Please.
She leads you through. The smoker in the crimson side chamber doesn't actually say anything to you, still just kind of smoking heavily. But you can hear the sound of the crowd outside changes slightly. It was this roaring, persistent demand. Now it is small amounts of screaming, of fear, loud roars of determination and vengeance.
Tonight has escalated further than I had anticipated.
Yes, the creature that they found was actually a member of this town. He's called the Sculptor, belonged to the Fallen Flame Apothecary, which had been damaged in the Drow attack. But now, he was doing a task inside of the Righteous Flame Temple. And the moment they pulled him out, he started to transform. And now, it appears that the noose he was bound in, and you see there's no windows in this room, but she seems to gaze in the direction of the sound, like she can see.
Sick.
The noose does not appear to be holding the sculptor back. At least this means that the city's defenses will be primarily on this job, on this hunt. Leon, you've come at a good time, but please, if you have something to ask.
Are we in our office now?
Yes. The door closed.
When we left the guard, I'm just going to say, I apologize for waking you up. Thank you.
It's my job.
May I sit?
Yes, please.
Uh,
I have the scrolls for you, although I did not hear back from Augustus Venlin.
yeah, that job kind of went a little south. My new companions, unfortunately, are a little more rambunctious than I thought they would be.
And you appear to be.
It's been a long day. We've uncovered a lot of.
This was on the hunt.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems this town has. Are you planning on staying through this? They issued a decree. Most people are to return to their abodes, or as if perhaps leave. Are you planning on staying, or?
My livelihood is heavily tied to this town, but the place I came from, the place that raised me for a longer period of time than my people, was Armor. It has a few things for some of the crazy people, a correctional facility, if I'm remembering correctly, but it is smaller than this town, but more of the welcoming kind to Greya folk. So close to the Keter Sanctuary's borders, it has functioned as a communal hub between Gronoda and the Keter for quite a long time. But within the last month and a half, recent attacks that are believed to be Drow, without actual confirmation of any Drow bodies, has put the border on edge. The harbor, the Fallburn Harbor Bridge, is the bridge that connects the Dynasty and the Keter together.
You don't believe they're Drow, or you just don't have any? There's no proof.
There is never proof.
Okay.
In fact,
What do you think then?
the bodies of children, wives, and men were all taken. But the ones that weren't were and she holds back something, were dissected into many pieces. It was an act of not hunger, but of sport.
Yeah.
So if this is Drow nature, it is new to me. I believe they are definitely hunters, but they do not kill for sport at random.
Not vicious.
Never. In Armor, there's so much culture there. It makes almost no sense that they would just walk into the center of Keter and pronounce that they are making an invasion. Weirder is that this town has been given nearly no support in the entire month, which means my job is infinitely harder, but also means that I do not have the military personnel to evacuate the ones here and leave this building with defenses. I would have to abandon what I spent half a century working.
Well,
These are dark events in this ancient world.
it appears as though the humans, specifically of this area, are starting to get a little fed up with the other races.
I think darker influences are growing out from human fear.
We encountered just north of here in the graveyard a spirit of some sort who was summoning undead, communicating with fiends of kinds. I think we drove it from its home, but it's still alive. But the presence of something so close to civilized town. I mean, you told me there was a lot of problems in the northern part of the town, but I was not expecting this.
Well, it does come as a shock when one of your most trusted allies introduces you to me, and then I hear word that he flees town north with his wife Alice, without ever telling me why.
Talking about Zimmer?
Yes,
Zimmer fled town.
with his wife.
Zimmer has a wife. Good for him.
I believe she is of the town north, which was 2 months ago still a thriving fortress of some Krulik defenses. But now I believe it is abandoned, so I do not know why he flees to a place potentially more dangerous than right here. But
He expressed interest in us joining the hunt with him.
in just run, he said he was his wife and him were working on some pages of something, historical research or something like that. But the day after the grazing, I guess it's still today. It's been a very long day. He was on edge, different than the night before, and the night before different from that former night. He has progressively gotten more and more timid, weak, or just scared. It's very hard to tell when a soldier compartmentalizes, especially one that does not easily trust outside races.
Yeah.
Yet, Alice, a woman I've never met before, but I believe is studied in anthropology, study of culture, was
They've been married for long?
I believe I believe 6 months or a year, but he has never given me specifics. In fact, he only told me his wife's name on the 11th, the day of grazing, when he said that he had a big investment project he was working on with her, and that for the first time I'd heard the name. It makes sense. He's a very secretive type of man. He has a lot of scars, and it makes sense why. But fleeing from responsibility is unlike him to all of the extents I know him. So I thought it right that I would get your horse from Raven's Bane and bring it here to my stables where it would not be snatched by someone fleeing town. I'm assuming you may have not thought that one through. I had a friend of, an elven friend of mine who said you left your vehicle under him.
Yeah. The extenuating circumstances, I don't really like owning animals, if you know what I mean.
I understand.
But yeah, mistake I ain't gonna make again.
I have in the small quarters of the horses we've got here, and look, I can't offer you I can't offer you much under my budget, but 5 gold for Simsima's body, and the wife's body, 5 each. 35 gold.
You're expecting to find corpses?
No, but 35 gold if he's bringing back alive. I have no idea. She touches the sides of her face and kind of rubs her temples. I have no idea what he is thinking, or if he's too scared to make coherent thought. Normally he would, being a very lawful person, would run something up the chain, especially if he was leaving hours after we met without saying anything about it.
And Mina, I'm sure his disappearance had nothing to do with you.
I tend to believe that often it can be, but I saw him as a kind man. He was considerate of others, but did hold fear.
My companions mentioned in passing that he did seem different earlier today or yesterday, so that makes sense. Due to extenuating circumstances, my companions and I had made plans to leave the city tonight. The situation here has been dastier than we expected. However, we were going to go north anyway, so
Well, if you keep going north, you will enter the most strict human city, which is a prison city called Tulum Port. They use their prisoners to build them ships. A lot of their prisoners are other races that they find wandering around. I would not recommend going all the way north, but if you in the direction of Warnhold, there is a place called the Blossom View. It is actually just a cliff side, a forested cliff side. You will notice it upon close arrival because it has beautiful pink and purple flowers. But there is a place called the Glowing Gardens where a interesting type of man resides. He is under the radar and does not freely support people who are wishing to weigh out a storm. But if you are a fan of chess, convincing him you are strategical may earn you a spot in some safe sanctuary.
You say strange. What do you mean? Other than him being a chess
But
expert.
he is not human. Not any.
Not particularly a problem.
Okay. Yes, he is a bullman, a horned bullman.
Like a minotaur?
Blackish brown fur. He's rather short. He's not a particularly tall minotaur. I call him a bullman. He never refers himself to as a race in particular, but he's a former soldier, I believe, who fought on the side of the plague bringers, much like Augustus. There's not many places I can offer you support north. That is one of the. In fact, if you hit Warnhold is west in Warnhold.
What was his place called again?
The Glowing Gardens in Blossom View. Now, look, I apologize. I cannot actually stay here this long with you. I plan to be helping someone else with a magical requirement, but she pulls out papers and papers.
Yeah.
I know you do not have the trust I would have hoped to give you, but because you came back here now, all times, you still.
We all have danger to front in
Look,
these
honestly,
times, but
as long as you don't run from me, I think you are a better companion than this.
you said you didn't have much to offer me. I mean, specific. Do you have a map of the region we could perhaps have? And I will reach into my my clothes. I'll pull out a diamond. I'll just place it in front of her desk. I am in the need of supplies, which you cannot supply, most likely. However, I will appreciate the licenses you have made so far. I'm sure this will indicate towards
Give
it.
me a moment. She pulls out from the bottom of her desk an hourglass, and she places it down, and then she puts the diamond on top of the hourglass. And you watch the whole hourglass glow a faint blue, and then all of the sand at the bottom seems to magnetically be pulled to the top, sticking beneath the glass where the diamond is. And then she takes the diamond off, and the sand falls back through. Yes, it is a real diamond. Good to know you are not a pure liar.
No, just a circumstantial one.
I understand.
Other than
I
a map, perhaps.
Well, I will give you for the diamond. I will give you the paperwork, and I will give you a map I have. I don't have a map going north. I do have a map northeast. In fact, it is
Anything would be useful.
it is specifically just the map of the Wickel Rock Forest and west to Armo. But labeled enough, it should give you some directional indications for if you're heading that way.
I just say under my breath, well, this would have fucking been useful.
And your Gilligan paperwork, your Grotti, Gilbert, and Viper Ren Ixon. All of these are yours. You're giving me a diamond. I feel like I'm underpaying you now.
I give it to you half because in case you do need to make a swift escape from this town. Hopefully it will help you. I would also greatly appreciate a blanket and any sort of alchemical supplies you may have.
Oh, this poor boy.
I don't deal with the cold very well.
I understand. You know what? In fact, we have thicker skins, but going north sucks. Just generally.
Yeah. For everyone, but especially me.
She slips up. I'm not too sure on how many or how much of alchemy equipment I have, but I will go check.
Anything of the sort would be useful.
My cook's might, and she actually exits.
Actually, do you have any medicinal herbs or supplies that would actually be more useful?
She stops at the door.
A friend of mine recently got diseased, I think. The creatures around here are very unpleasant.
She walks back through the room, back around what appears to just be a stone slab for a desk, like a long stone slab. And you see there's obviously drawers on the other side because you see her reach down, her body like barely, her head barely above the table, reaches down, and she pulls out what appears to be this. I feel it is only fair because my body is so used to diseases and this type of common plagues. This is a finely carved bloodstone. One-time use can absorb the simple disease or that poison from your body, restoring you in the vessel. But once it is used and all the color, the blood is drained from the rock, it is useless. And I have a few for this. Make a persuasion check.
Diplomacy, yeah.
A diplomacy.
Fuck. 12. I will use 3 of my points to give it a 15.
Hey, if only is often useful for helping players that when I fuck about my history. And she hands you two bloodstone 20-sided die. No sketched numbers into them or anything like that. They are beautifully hexed.
This
Carved
is
so many corners.
more than I could have asked for. I greatly appreciate it.
Give me a moment, I'll go get you some blankets. And she leaves, comes back a few minutes later with that, and she says, I went to the cooks, and they said they have no alchemy supplies, but I have bottles that can be used in alchemy fashion. She has 2 semi-large size bottles of that type.
Perfect.
I don't have any spare vials on me, but all of this, actually, if you want to go, my heady one down the bottom of the stairs, he is in charge of the horse feed. You're welcome to say that Mina gives you 20 gold worth of horse feed. I feel like
I'm the one who's getting more value out of this trade now.
you've given me something that at this time I find highly unusual. So you're welcome not to approach him. He's quite tall, quite intimidating. So if you don't need extra horse food,
He seems like a sweetheart. I'm sure I can charm him.
his name is Gibbon.
Given. He seemed like, well, not him specifically, but his friend, the human, was worried about him. He's planning on leaving. Probably smart, but
Gibbon, he's from the west. Colder climates is, he adapts well in them. So this is why this part of the region, being kind of naturally colder, suits him very well. So
is he, well, if he is leaving or planning to leave, is he available for hire?
well, only because look, make another diplomacy check. You're trying to take away some of my employees.
23. I'd simply ask as your employer. I have to take my opportunities as they come.
I would like to keep Gibbon alive. So, despite the need of the muscle,
If you
he is.
asked in case he was leaving your service anyway, if you require him, absolutely
I
continue.
did
please.
not know this, but you overheard it.
He expressed that he wasn't, worried, but his human friend was suggesting places that he could go if he needed to leave.
He is a beautiful companion, especially when you gain his trust.
I think it's best he stay with you.
This I leave up to you. She begins to walk you out. She holds the blankets and a few other little pieces, like wrapping the blankets with the alchemy kits. Alchemist items. I'd say you have 1/4 of an alchemy kit.
Sick.
Which is just like the bottle parts. All of the stuff that's useful for other things. All I have to tell you as she walks you down is that the smell of decay run, the plagues that have been spreading south are getting worse. The one that hit here has been stagnant, but I believe it spread west more. I don't believe it has spread east, and I don't believe it has spread north, because that hold has been wiped out for over a month without any extra military forces to back it up. It's simply just an abandoned few scattered buildings and I think a temple fortress. But I do know that if you are worried, the sewer rats run from here nearly everywhere except directly west. So it is possible that there will be sewer openings in WARNHOLD, only because it is only 20-ish hours away from you. So, but there's terrible things in the sewers around here, so I'm not sure which is, I hope you make it out of all of this alive. She brings you down to the bottom stairwell. The guard steps back up. She looked like she fell back asleep.
Nice. I respect her.
Not even grabbing the weapon, just solid salute at the sides. Hi.
Don't worry about me. I have a way of slipping things. But you take care of yourself. It was a pleasure meeting you. I will hold my hand out down to her.
She holds her hand up to you. Being a good even 4.5 feet tall with boots on. If you meet anyone who looks like me, don't fucking trust them.
I already got that, but
Except you. Thank you.
so nice.
She's fine. Go talk to Gibbon if you wish.
We'll see each other again. Hopefully, I will return here eventually.
Well, hopefully by then, the war is over.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Viper sends his regards, by the way.
Take the papers. The three with you, you talk together? Or you...
I will talk together.
She gestures and says, yeah. He gets up from the seat. I mean, you're guessing like 200 kilos. 7.5 feet tall. Thick furred face, like hair that is that long, just coming up here. There looks to be whiskers, but can't differentiate the color with so much hair. He doesn't look like he's had a haircut in months.
Well, he's a bugbear looking.
Yes.
Okay.
Ours.
Good evening.
Your
Your employer. I heard that you take care of the horses. My horse was brought here.
horse feed tastes pretty good.
It does. Can you lead me to my horse?
He just turns around, starts walking.
I will slightly jog into walk beside it. It means so I could have 10 gold worth of feed.
Right.
I would appreciate it if you would saddle it up.
He looks down at you. Make it. What is the insight check?
Sense motive.
Sense motive. That is exactly. Please roll me a sense motive.
I'm almost good at this. 14.
14. Okay. He looks down at you, and like you're barely able to see something of an eye. Really, really bug-like. It almost looks like a fly, in the weirder way, a big fly eye, where you can see a bunch of tiny little hexagonal stripes in his eye. And as the one eye kind of looks down at you at the direction, right? Get my food.
I'm sorry, big fella, but
It's okay.
I think you probably have plenty. Hey,
We're going to get some more tomorrow morning, but
well, there you go.
not.
Is Mina a good boss? Would you say?
And
Yeah. You happy with her?
she lets you use the booths.
They don't do that normally.
Sometimes I am too tall. Sometimes I'm too smelly. He smells of
I think you smell fine.
like definitely a wet fur. There is actually like if anything, it's more just like a strong body odor from obviously a bit of like sweat from whatever this like intimidating outside noise is. I like her very much, but she scares me when she fights.
She seems like she'd be the intimidating type.
He looks down at you.
But you stick by her.
You have no idea.
Yeah, I really don't, and I don't think I want to.
You see that, you don't have a great sense of it. This guy does not have a great ability to hide. There's maybe an actual slight, like, hint of fear before this, like, height superiority kind of brushes that thought away from him. There's, like, a glance of fear in his eyes. Moves to the horse, sighing, intensely, grabs a sack, looks inside, reaches his hand in, and just pulls out a handful of just, like, seed that's just sifting through his hands. Just out of the bag he's obviously going to be giving to you, now holding it in one hand. That's about 10 gold worth.
Thank you.
You're looking at it, it's maybe more 15-ish.
Biggest friend.
And just, like, puts it almost over your head.
Oh god, please.
Let's go. It's heavy, but it's, big thatch bag. You can see there's one tiny hole.
Oh, pinch it. That'll be fine.
Red, here is. Doesn't like to talk. There's something wrong with its lung.
Yeah.
You see as the horse gently trots into some area where there is light, you can see this, like, still, it's not coughing anymore, but you can strangely see this, like, thick black vapor smoke just, like, coming out of its mouth instead of drooling.
I will get within 5 feet of it, and when I get within 5 feet, I visibly become more alert.
Black smoke stops.
Oh god. Nice to see you again, Mr. Horse. I still don't know your name.
The bugbear, like, pats it twice. You see the horse is, like decently jumping to a thick, like, strong creature. But I think you even notice that the horse has seen this thing eat horse food and now is not actually ready to flee from it, even though, normally probably would be. Alright, time for you to go.
It is indeed. Thank you for your help, Cupid.
That is.
Give my regards to your boss, and take care of yourself.
You don't die out there, small boy.
I will try to avoid it.
Distant. As he walks back inside.
I'm gonna quick spot check. Is everything that was on the horse? On the horse?
Absolutely. Make a spot check.
What?
Make a. Sorry. Just do a perception, because that's all right. I can remember.
15.
15. Okay. Yeah.
I will open my black case.
Okay. Everything, as far as you're aware, at a fever glance, appears to be in its place. Now make me an animal handling check. Would you like to feed your horse beforehand?
Yeah, I will, as I'm attaching the sack, I'll give him a nice little half handful.
Okay.
Handle animal is trained only.
Yes.
So I have more rules for that.
So base level is just a 10 as a DC. I believe you minus modifiers when you're not proficient. Alright? Yes. So all I'm going to do is for the animal handling side of this, because you fed it the food, you don't get a minus.
6. I have a +3 because it's charisma based.
Perfect. So you just add the +3. Your DC is 10.
8.
That's why I'm glad you added 3 points to the other thing.
Don't kick me, okay? Viper will.
It lets you get on. But you're a bit slower. Exiting. The sound of battle.
Okay.
Sound of something shit like deep in the earth shifting deep in the crowd shifting. You see what looks like the neck of the noose, the hanger. You see that large piece of wood is just 15 feet away from you, even though stained in blood. It's not on a body, but it is heavily covered in blood, and relatively fresh blood. You see it has been thrown probably 100 feet away.
Mm-hmm. As I try to make my way out, I will attempt to
You begin to see like
move the horse,
a scattering of bodies where the crowd is kind of split to let these bodies remain. They're not stepping on them, but very visibly, close to 30 or 40 bodies.
Sick.
And then there is some spray of blood you see just before your vision cuts behind the building. Look.
Go this way. Oh,
Thick, coagulated blood in the well displeases you greatly. But the area around you appears to be very lootable. To the left of this well, there appears to be a elevated, broken temple. The only actual stone building in this rear half of the town flocks. Just off the Dreamless Avenue, the main path down the center of the town in the flocks, you see past this temple that is under heavy decay, there is an inn where there is some, at almost midnight, there is some sound of revelry going on inside of it, probably the people that aren't fighting. There are broken windows in that building, but everything from where the well is, where this temple and well are, backwards, is just destroyed buildings. You dust your hands of the thick, coagulated blood water, and
Let's just see if there's anything wrong with the temple.
okay. You go up, and you can actually see, at the side of the temple, there is about a 15-foot space where there should be a stone wall. Instead, there is what looks like no impacts of scorch marks, no impacts of sulfurous explosions, but you see heavy ruin, like bodies or large chunks of material have been thrown through the walls, scattering stone and brick everywhere. As you enter, you realize the front door is barred. They're not barred in the classic way, because when you look through the broken wall, you see that things have been piled against the front doors. And as you get...
talking right away. That's a check.
It will be, or you can take 10. And
you have an Aaron?
also, I take 20, which means it takes, 2 minutes instead of 1 action.
Alright, I'll take that.
Okay.
Smart.
So instead of just trying to climb, because you know your legs will be kicking nothing and your upper body has some strength, you get from the side of where the inn is, the back half of the inn, you grab about 5 small crates and you stack them on top of each other so that you can then step onto that and then step through the broken wall. As you enter, it appears to be a room majorly stacked with things that have been pushed to the side. In the center of the temple, however, you see it's more like an apothecary. You see a statue of a girl and pieces of silver scattered around her feet. There's no well. It's just on a pedestal. Coins have been chucked. And what looks to be abandoned pieces of leather armor. Not like bodysuit pieces, but like ankle pieces and wrist pieces, like braces. You see small parts of armor that is not metal, but are chunks of leather, chunks of padded, all with some small stains of a dark brown color.
Alright. Droth will pull down his goggles as he starts twisting it as he casts Detect Magic.
Okay.
Nice.
So it just tells it if there's magic in the area. And the location and location.
Interestingly, there is no magic in of any of the pieces shoved to the walls. But what you see, half buried underneath an entire side of the building with stuff pushed against its door. Buried underneath what looks to be pews and tabletops, and what even looks like a whole bookshelf has been placed against the double doors so they don't open. Underneath, a very faint magical glow emanates from what looks to be a hatch in the floor. Something below the hatch is emanating up. So you can't actually, and it's not even enough of a magical glow to get a sense of what the magic is. You can't even see that. It's just like this thin effervescence of a color. At this point, it looks to be like a white color, just faintly emanating from beneath a hatch in the wall.
Don't worry, it doesn't tell me magic types. I have to use another spell.
Yes. And at this point, to remove all of the things on top of this hatch to allow you in, like there at this point, it's open that much. So some faint magical energy is emanating out, but it is like toppled with chairs and pews and a bookshelf and like just all sorts of things.
Is there any curtains around? Or any like cloth?
Yes, cloth. Definitely cloth. Actually, on the floor, half covered by brick, it looked to be maybe a third of what's left of a tapestry that was on the wall that was like exploded somehow.
Rock will first spend some time collecting some of the tapestry.
Okay.
To just put it to his.
You can see there is some sort of there's a half of a symbol of fire that you can easily shred, little bits of red fabric mixed in there, but it looks to be mainly a white and black tapestry. White, black, and grey. Yep. As you are beginning to lift stuff off this small hatch in the ground that is glowing with a little bit of magic, you with your glasses on, tell us what you look like.
In the darkness, you wouldn't see much on it, but what it looks like is a green, old giant with two tusks sticking out of the bottom jaw and long ears. He is covered in what seems to be an oversized bathrobe, which is recently bought, steel capped boots, and red goggles. So,
And the moth green color of your skin is darkened by the shadows of this room. There's no light in here, but your goggles emanate a faint glow with their magical source. The last thing is literally dragging a bookshelf off all of this hatch, which still has something jammed under it, so you can see that there's something that it is a hatch. You hear sound of trotting. It gets closer and closer, and you just ground this off enough so the hatch now has nothing stopping you from looking in.
Rock will open it up.
No.
Do I see him?
No, you don't. You don't even hear it. Make me a perception check.
You can see the foxes.
Oh yeah.
26.
26. You see you return to the edge of this strangely circular base, a round brick base that is wider than the rectangular temple placed over it. That temple, what'd you roll in perception?
26.
26. You hear a sound. That sound. And upon a few steps closer, that you're still not actually at the temple, you hear apothecary. You hear of old wooden hinges.
I'm gonna stop.
Rock opens the hatch, and that faint magical light, as you look down, appears to be a set of stairs that just protrude and stop the latch from being closed. A set of stairs that lead down to a magically illuminated hallway. Faint white light that licks like fire, but has no source of heat, appears to be magically embedded into the wall with what looks like a sconce, but a tiny sconce. Small, tiny metal rod connected to a white light. You could snap it off to use it. It is basically welded to the wall of this strange, like almost catacomb-like tunnel. Melion, you notice that there have been a few rearrangements.
Is this the Church of the Righteous Flame or the
This is behind that. This is in the Forks, so the rougher side of town, where the whole northern side of town, which you're on the edge of, is ruined. This building included, and you can see that this building has just now had recent wooden boxes stacked on top of each other next to the frame, so something could climb into the absolutely destroyed like side walls. the actual front and back of this apothecary appears to have not been damaged, but the walls on both sides appear to be heavily ruined.
So the sculptor came out of the apothecary or the church?
They said the church of the righteous ones,
Sick.
even though they said he came from the apothecary.
So the torch is magic.
It is like, yeah, it's like a tiny metal rod connected to this white fire that is just like gently flicking. It looks almost like seaweed in water more than it looks like fire. It moves slower.
So Brock will turn his lenses around as he'll switch to read magic mode.
Read magic mode.
Basically explain how it allows you to read undecipherable magics. And it also allows you to figure out the school of magic.
Okay.
And it can also allow you to identify what's a boy.
Like the one you're standing on.
You got make me a perception check as well.
Oh, thank Carl.
That's it.
15. Okay, you hear the tiniest sound of yelling from outside yelling to you, but as your magic plays in, it is a source of ever-burning flame that emits no heat, but upon specific instruction, you actually believe that it is imbued, the actual small rod it is on is imbued with some sort of extra magical enchantment. One of it obviously being, I can't exactly remember the school, I believe it's like transmutation invocation, for making something everlasting. That is what this fire is. But attached to it, you get this kind of like one use, and there's maybe, at your visual range, there's maybe 6 of these things on you. A one-use flash of light, bright light.
Hello? Is that you?
Grog, get out of there.
You hear, oh,
I found some infinite flashlights.
now you do. Just pokes his head up from beneath the,
I'm gonna look around. Is everybody seeming under this?
still a glow, so the closest building to you that actually does have activity appears to be some sort of a tavern. There's no windows in the direction you're looking, but you can see from the sides of the alleyways there is this kind of gentle warm orange glow on the inside. And past that warmth is a bright orange glow that is divided by 2 walls, and that would be the crowd. So past the apothecary, past the tavern, walls, and then whatever is inside. Okay. So you're maybe 200 feet away from the roaring crowd.
I'll speed up then. Come closer to you. Grog, the monster that's hanging out there came from in here. You should get out of there.
Right, well,
Unless you find something of value, in which case don't touch it either.
I found a secret room with magic.
Okay, so close up the secret room because definitely corrupted that man into an abomination. Get out of there so we can leave the town.
Aren't you a little bit curious of how this
No, absolutely not. You're the one who said you didn't like all the abominations here and what the humans do to them. So,
Rocco will take one of the torches.
This is going to be
course you
I was going to say strength, but I believe like there's a. This is like ripping a piece of metal off a wall. It's not like thick hinges. So is there a?
Oh, is it screwed on the wall?
It's not screwed in. It appears to be molded, but there is a basically the cast iron frame is the thing that's in the wall. Then there are two rods that join together to connect to the rod. So you can snap it at a hinge where it leaves most of it attached. Let's make this a base strength.
Alright. That's a 14.
14, okay. Yep, no DC
Pretty good.
of 13. Pull a piece of metal. You watch as that light, darkens just a bit. Its glow much more, almost, it becomes less of a fire torch and more of just now this kind of ball of light, seemingly changing as you rip it off the wall.
Alright. Right, sorry, yeah, let's go.
Is it still alive?
It's a small, 5 feet of bright light. 5 feet deep.
Can you put hats on him?
But what?
Put that hat somehow. Yeah,
No,
we
I
can
just-
just stealthily put it in my back. Could you do that?
Yeah, sure.
He puts it away.
Alright.
Can you close up the place?
No, I'm just gonna leave it.
Of course you will.
Oh, well, with your little bit of light, you saw that attached to Belion's horse, Adris' horse, is a extra large thatch sack. So, but that is normally where your bag goes.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's head out.
I don't think we have room on the horse for you. Sorry.
We have to walk on it. Let's run out of here.
But yeah, once we start traveling, yes.
Right.
Don't worry, I had the foresight, get this, to get some blankets, because it's going to be cold when we're traveling.
I'm already cold. For sure.
Do you want one of my blankets?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say this. You have equivalent of one bed worth, so you have a sheet and a blanket. One is like a thin sheet, one is like a...
Let's go.
So one of them can kind of give you a tiny bit of weight.
We're going to freeze to death.
I told you to call me Meliorn, and no, we'll be fine. Don't worry. You have firepower, so you'll be fine.
The distant sound of metal against monster is audible, and the few sounds of painful cries are snuffed fast. Unlike the monstrous, sorrowful roar, you still hear loudest as the horse moves away from the town.
I think Viper broke this horse. It is irreparably broken. But at least it sort of does what I tell it to. Anyway, Edmina told me a whole bunch of stuff, but I'll save it until we find the others. Hopefully we can find them. Can you track at all?
Yeah, that was my joke.
I'm alright. Yeah. You used to have old Viper stuff, by the way.
No. We can go grab it.
We should go grab it. It's
Corpse
two magic swords that we really need. You have those at least, right?
The magic sword.
His corpse did disappear, but his weapons did not.
Yeah, we can pick them up.
They're just sitting there? Okay. Yeah, we definitely need to get those.
Cool.
One of yours.
Unless one of the others still
That's probably it.
I picked up the magic sword.
And the massive pole stick.
Okay, I can put them in the group.
We can just pick them up because we're very
Or yeah, you pick them up. Let's say that.
Yeah, good.
As you reach the
Hey, would we really have left them sitting there?
you reach the end of the gate, Rock, your magical eyes feel the signature of something connected to Viper still inside of the tower, and the grinding of metal on stone as you open the gates into they're already half open. They're not locked. They don't have chains around them. They're half ajar. You open enough to walk your horse in, and behind you,
Keep your eyes out. It's probably the ghost.
the dreamless avenue that you were just on, the central road splitting the town. You hear behind you a single guard, letting his sword grind against the footpath as you hear and see emerging from the darkest corner. His lower right shoulder appears to be pierced by a large chunk of metal. You see him stumble forward, barely standing, smacks with his left hand, smacks his sword against the stone hinge of the metal building, of the stone building. I saw you, criminals who use the shadows to steal from us, from our town while we're weak. You are cowards, you scum. You won't.
I'll dismount. Take the horse.
You see behind you,
Take the horse. Take it.
the body falls down.
I'll run over to it.
Well, we're killing the witnesses.
Meliorn, you hear this sickening as you see that body hit the cobblestone floor, and blood slowly starts to seep through the kind of cobblestone cracks of the streets. He does not move, even as you approach.
What's he got in his shoulder?
What looks to be a chunk of metal that's about this big, and at a narrow point has really completely ripped through the entire upper part of his right shoulder blade. I'm not sure how this guy walked down the entire rear half of the town, but he was obviously, had some amount of ferocity left in him to chase you, even if it was just this guy.
I'll go up to his body.
There's a breastplate. There is a sword that he was carrying, although that now appears to be chipped as he's smashing it on the stone.
I'll throw out my knife. And I'll nudge him in my toe, make sure he's dead. But if he is, I'll just quickly check him, see if he has anything.
That's all you can get.
Anything of use.
You reach into his pockets, find about 3 silver, and about 20 copper.
Where's my goddamn?
But that is it.
I'm picking up some details from Vipers.
No, the last 4 coins are heavily covered in blood.
We can wash them later. I'll just take the whole purse.
Grok, you see further in as no one is behind.
I'll run back.
Want to investigate it, or do you think we should?
Investigate what?
The tower.
The tower, there's traces of Viper's magic still remaining. Yeah, sure.
Upon approach, it is smelling of charred, burned bodies, of decay that was heavily in progress and has now been reignited by fire. This disgusting rot that is putrefying and seems to kind of cling to you where there isn't much wind.
I flip my cloak inside out and have my hood up, by the way.
You turn to your stealth mode.
Evil Melior. If, you probably don't need my help. I'm going to check around the area in case we missed anything.
You watch Rock just walk in the direction, knowing, and you're surprised that Viper's signature was so strong, because what you see is the large metal polearm that he was carrying. It's not his magic, yet somehow the exact signature is. And as your magical eyes gaze over to it, it seems to give you the hint of magic. And the moment you try to peer into it, it seems to kind of fritz or fuzz the clear detection you had. You do understand it is some sort of abjurative, transmutative magic, but it's like lead infused or something. There's a signal blockage here.
Alright, well, nothing's bad
It's
as
a staff that's an equal height to you.
guys will take it.
Now, you don't know what it can do, and it's not an achievement item, but it has a reaction ability. That's all I'm going to tell you. Just keep it in your hands to use.
Prior's getting full.
You do not find the
Really? That's weird. Wasn't even close to full.
fallen weapons, but you head out north 1 hour until you enter the forest. I will get you to roll me, both of you, a self check.
11.
Oh,
I rolled a 2.
let's roll a 4 and a 2.
Yes.
So at this point,
We're gonna get killed.
I already, 4 and a 2.
I run pick.
You head north,
You need it for diamonds.
and that sorrowful roar of the monster, it's cut. You're not sure exactly when, because there isn't a booming crowd roar even as you're getting further away from it. It just goes on.
Praise the Father. Thank God that abomination is dead.
And as you continue north, I want both of you to make fortitude saves for me, just so I can speed up this countdown.
14.
That's 16.
Beautiful. With the cool winds blowing against you, heading north, you rug up slightly. The horse, its actual body is emitting a massive amount of warmth under you, but only to like the sides of your legs.
We're friends, right, little feller?
It actually, interestingly enough, begins to breathe more of this black gas smoke the cooler it gets.
I'm gonna lean down to its ear. I'm gonna say, how do you feel about the name Viper? I'm gonna call you Viper. Brilliant.
Just extends its tongue
Oh God.
and then thinks about it. It doesn't like all the weight on its body, but except for that. So
That's what my fucking problem.
exactly.
Sorry, Lesser Bean.
And now,
Just block me off and kill me. It wouldn't be that hard.
we cut 10 hours ahead.
I don't know how to track, but I'm sure we'll find
On the edge of the forest, looking at the distance, Loki and Cornell, as you're building a fire, as you're pulling the large carcass of a stag, you can see, as you've done some scouting, there is a path ahead of you heading north, even though you didn't head directly north. The hills block most of this view of a path, yet you could have seen it. But also, for Loki, you're not sure. You know that this specific area you haven't been before. But the more into open plains you get, the more you're not sure why you can't remember being here. Plains, hills, fields where this territory is perfect for your people. You feel like you come down a path like this, and yet maybe it's just the angle, but none of it feels familiar. There's something nagging at you that there is tracks of your past here. You just don't know.
I'm gonna look for them.
You don't find any.
Cool.
Fuck you, you don't get to roll. But,
Get
Moki, as you rip the antlers off the horse, the horse, the stag,
What the fuck?
horse antlers.
What's with all the horses in this all being deformed?
Loki, wounded, blistered, and scarred. What do you look like?
A centaur. He has brown fur on his horse body with tan skin for his human part. He has amber eyes and stands at a height of 8 feet and 6 inches. He weighs as much as the horse does, like over 2,000 pounds.
He's a thick boy.
Very thick. Broken ears, mangled the hell.
Chewed or just twisted?
Shoot, like a wild animal just gnawed at his fucking face for a bit. On his left, though, he does have in the remnants of the ear, just three piercings of just common like copper or iron, not fancy stuff, just like his light brown hair is done up in a short bun, and he has a very full beard but has some grey spots showing his age. Around his he's not wearing any clothes because centaur.
Or cloth, small amount.
He has like a sort of like small cloth waistcloth covering nothing because nothing's there.
Giant horse.
Don't think about it.
No, it's on his waist where his human would be, not his horse waist, his human waist.
Fanfics start later. This is
around his biceps and forearms are 2 bands of green tattoos which resemble vines. And on his left shoulder sports a tribal-looking tattoo, which looks like it would signify his status as a warrior, but it looks very complete. And then on his face, he has another one, but while its tattoo looks like half done, incomplete. On his back, chest, and right side of his head is heavy scars. Burns, whips, swords, all of it. That seem to signify both his time as a brave warrior, but also something darker, like slave. His oldest scars are of all the bites, while his most recent ones are from weapons and whistles. And around his neck is the brand of linked chains.
Nice.
You, without thinking about it reflexively, you spent only one day and with these people, and you have fought nearly every moment of it. So this part of life, of taking from nature as it takes from you,
In this forest, doing hunting these deers, just the most relaxed I've been.
giving you moments to breathe, and you feel that kind of ferventness, this kind of weight on your chest, something that hasn't let go of you, something that clings to you. You drag and drag and drag until the winds catch back up to you and the sound of a very distant crackling fire grows closer and closer as you see, at it alone, your fellow forest buddy. What does Cornell look like?
Cornell is, he's probably just got a cigar in the corner of his mouth. He's relatively unkempt, simple sort of leathers and daily clothing, except he has this large gray jacket that hides most of his figure. On the corner of it is a symbol of a silver flame. Long white hair, relatively muscular physique, and a decent jawline. Over one of his eyes, you see basically a blindfold made of bandages that sort of disappears into his hair, and then over the other eye, you see a single like diagonal lined type of scar that splits his eye down the middle. His eyes are pale but relatively bright blue, and the surrounding sclera is completely bloodshot. Bit of a stubble, sort of couple days aftershave going on, and simple like wide brimmed flat fedora-esque type of hat.
Keeping down stronger winds that blow tangled hair.
Yeah. His skin is sort of tan, but mainly just like kind of dirty and unwashed. And bits and pieces of his clothing are spattered with blood here and there. And on his right wrist and his left ankle are two relatively large manacles that have no attachments to them. They're just sitting there in place.
You hear as the body of the stag hits the ground beside your fire. It's been half skinned because Moki can walk in skin.
Carry me.
Exactly. Slumped over one arm.
That's going to be
Your singular left remaining massively bulky muscle arm. The two different arm sizes Moki appears to have.
Yes, my left arm is grey, withered, and has like purple streaks running through it, and looks like it's very fucked up and cut.
Yet still holds a knife well as you skin what remains of the stag. You.
So we're going to be eating that?
Well, yes, I'll be preparing the meat after I bleed it.
Alright, I trust. Know how far out we are?
Probably around 10 hours.
So I guess we'll wait here maybe 6. Get moving in the day.
What time is it?
Decent, not just decent, thick cloud cover above you, but high clouds.
Right.
So it gives you a kind of like, you'll know that in the time you've traveled, it's probably 5 a.m. There is a kind of faint light above the clouds. No sun yet to spill, but soon.
Well, if we're going to be setting up camp here, I'm going to go collect a few things.
Now, for the state of your persons, what weapons do each of you carry? And we'll start with Cornell as he leaves.
Cornell, as he's leaving, draws from his right hip a large, double-barreled, sawed-off shotgun.
So ridiculous.
It's a dark metal barrel with almost like a rattlesnake wood stock and foregrip, and he just breaks it open, slides into cartridges, locks it off, and heads off. That seems to be the only weapon that he carries on him.
And Moki?
I pick up from where it's been dug in the ground a large. It's difficult to call either an axe or a sword. It's a little mix of both. It's a very long handle that has jagged tips and spikes, and all of it is rusted bloody. And at the top, circular sword blade. A circular sword blade, which is rusted, has dried blood on it, and some
Definitely
blackish
like chunks almost taken out of the top where it looks like a sword.
goo. He just picks them up, cuts off the stag's head.
And you soaring off the head with ease. With ease, you feel the blood instead of its normal kind of spray. Somehow, it seems to just like thoroughly soak the weapon, almost like a sponge. The weapon just takes the blood
Once
onto
the weapon goes down the handle of my hand.
dripping down.
And dig it back into the snow covered ground.
Faint
Faint.
layer of snow,
Yeah.
but yeah, and the kind of dry earth. It's still patches of good grass, but you've hit a spot for camping where it is particularly dry.
Tired. Stag up my feet to a tree, let me.
That's it. As Cornell walks into the forest, what do you collect?
I'm looking for anything that can be used for either sparking or cartridges.
Rock.
Rock.
I'll try to give you the option. Perception as an easy one. An easier DC would probably give you survival. Spot check.
Yeah, I'll do perception. I take 20.
Absolutely, yeah. You find a small area where a water vein appears to have spewed out a large amount of loose rock, a small amount of flint, and around that, where trees appear to be more lush, you find young paperbark trees with still thin amounts of actual, like, thick bark to their back, and you are able to strip away some of the fresher, lighter paper.
Nice.
Anything else in particular you're looking for in a forest here?
Actually, anything like medicinal?
Visible. Yeah, okay. You look around and a lot of snow covers this area. So only the bigger plants kind of spot out from the area, but it's also the smell. You find what appears to be a large grey tan cat mushroom. 3 of them kind of stacked on top of each other, but they cover something that smells even stronger. This potent, thin, single brush of what looks to be a purple leaf. It has a smell that you recognize, but make me a knowledge check. Or if you have like a nature identifying
I'm not trained in
plants.
either nature or arcana. But I do.
Wow, if I were
Can I do heal?
With a much harder DC, I will totally let you do heal. Heal of a DC 20.
As I'm doing that, squirrel
Fail.
on your hat decides to assist you.
Still fail. Assist is a +2.
That's
Oh,
all right.
okay.
I'll just check if I can give you a +2.
Right.
Okay. Right.
You don't know what it is, but the moment you get close to it, there is a strong, potent, I would say an almost acidic smell. Almost acid mixed with sulfur. You find that its natural smell seems to, while only being able to grow in kind of more moist, shaded environments, this is definitely a type of herb, but you're not sure if it is a poison, a kind of, but it certainly has some properties. Just without actually getting enough to know, do you think majoritively this could be used to make a cure, but majoritively is probably a poisonous plant?
And the toadstool seems fine.
Toadstool seems fine. It was just covering this plant, but
Not wanting to risk it, I'll collect the toadstool and leave.
yeah, Toadstool didn't leave any particular smell, but you still
Yeah, okay.
cut off a chunk and take it. Large carving of mushroom. You say you spend about an hour and a half searching. It is the walk back that you begin to hear something in the forest away from the way you came. Well, at first, triggered by something else. This cold chill goes over you, and then this putrid, unholy smell begins to come from the direction you previously walked. Not the way of Moki, but the way back to town. Something in that direction just unnerves you in its smell.
Okay. I'll cut my foraging short and I'll head back to Moki.
Okay. And as you head back, there is this uncomfortable tenseness that your body is naturally giving you. It's not the cold. The cold is tensing your body up, but this extra tightness. You feel it like animal instinct. Like there is a predator watching you. Unable to shake it, you move it back. Belly on. Rock.
We're in a 1 mile radius of my familiar. I can sense. And it can sense me.
You walk
So
for about you ride for about 5.5 hours.
So,
And then a ping catches you.
While we're walking, I'm going to give you one of the bloodstones.
These 20-sided, perfectly cut.
I got 2 of these for Edwin. I was going to give one to Moki because I couldn't get herbal stuff for his, horrific disease that's killing him. Do you think you could replicate it, or it would be useful to you or something?
Question to figure out what the hell it is. Probably.
She said bloodstone, and it gets rid of basic diseases. Which I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to work on him. He's got some weird, but hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, if you give me enough time, I could probably figure it out.
Okay. Well, that one's yours. So
Sure.
It's so small that carrying it and trying to identify while you're on horseback is not the easiest thing, especially with strong breezes that catch you. But there is this lovely, cool breeze. Luckily, only the smell of former wet and wet trees. There is no rain, just a faint layer of snow that breaks the canopy you walk through. And then there is the thing, rock. This little, small blip.
Got a signal. Take the fact. Give the gods, because I was completely lost.
But it seems to be moving.
I thought we were screwed.
It's moving north. So you will need to up your pace if you wish to keep up with Rock's ability to know where it is.
Look, I can communicate, but maybe I could send a message to the scroll and make them stop. That would be useful. Wait, how far away are they? A mile away at least. Oh, that's not that far. Oh, yeah, try to get them to stop.
Problem is I can only give them motions.
I don't know how they ain't gonna listen to it. We should probably start running.
Alright?
I thought they said they were gonna walk for 3 days, and they have.
Animal handling for you attempting to ramp up the speed of your horse.
Alright, Viper,
Wouldn't it be a ride check?
let's go.
That is exactly sorry, you're right. Right beside it.
Oh, that's one extra.
You're right. Should have mentioned you the whole thing.
Nice.
No.
+1.
Well, you know what?
10.
What?
Thanks, Jay.
You're welcome.
You can fight with it
You give
on,
it all the
on,
money.
on a horse that is trained to fight. That's what that DC is.
Let's go.
But it's like DC 5 for guided things, and DC 5 to stay in the saddle,
Well, you already used
even for a ride.
I mean, you can't get on a horse. So we're going slightly faster. So I'm just like, yeah.
Alright, well, both of you make me fortune saving throws, as this journey, it isn't 1 mile, it's 3 hours.
This might be interesting.
11.
State environmental rules.
I probably would have given you a blanket because you're walking. It's cold. I don't know if that helps. Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's cold now. Okay. Here, take this blanket. This is for running, but he's got the blanket.
For the blanket, okay, blanket I'm going to say will give you a +2 to the roll. The actual, not the blanket, but like the actual duda. The blanket is the thinnest piece, the actual,
8.
bed sheet.
I got 11.
Okay. So you both, well, no. Now, Moki. So many M's. Moki. Grok. You get the ping. It stops moving. By that point, you're pretty tired. Fatigued. Moki, your ears catch, just as you see Cornell get back, that above the trees, maybe 500 feet to the right, this distant little sound.
You want to tap out? I can swap. You can get a Viper if you want.
Like a lightning battle strike
Like
or
a propeller, like a small propeller that's fighting against wind.
like an insect, like a buzzing of an insect.
Like a big insect, but you have heard the sound before in battle. This is Grok's drone, which normally is inactive when he's not in nearby.
I think I hear Grox. Oh, flying creature.
I mean, is rat.
Yes. If you're buzzing around that direction.
So you're trying to tell me you want me to get it?
Is it coming closer?
It appears to be, but like with the strong wind, you're covered by a tree. The strong wind appears to be buffering it, so the sound you're hearing is much of it fighting against the wind as it is moving closer to you. You're not sure.
I'll head toward it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
See how far?
Make me a spot check, both of you.
Oh,
Do
you
me
mean
a
perception?
Yes, please.
Or dash?
No.
For protection.
15.
Beautiful.
Just beat that. 18.
18. You move Cornell in that direction. Moki, you give him a good pointer in that path, but you actually feel that it's up high, like mid-branch level of the trees. You, Cornell, move about 300 feet until that sound is now within surrounding 20 feet proximity, and then you feel this metal ball hit the top of your head. Pull! And just, it begins to fall off your head, and you catch it in your hand. The metal swirl with a tail that is a hard piece of metal, in a ball, curled up in a ball, and with only the center of its black opal head poking out for you to see. Suddenly, a strong feeling of bond, some sort of connection via emotion you begin to feel.
Alright, I found it.
Do you think Rock can find it? Oh, let's go back to camp anyway.
Okay, even you in its proximity, as soon as you look at that black bead at the top of its head, it's curled into a ball, like a shell, like it's
Like
hiding.
Pokemon.
Like a Pokemon. Without even touching it, you just look at that black opal and you feel this kind of strange eagerness, maybe.
Squirrel will uncurl. It will turn to the direction of Rock. It will unhatch its gun from its hand as it starts to unhatch.
What are you doing?
As it begins to fire.
Whoa!
I put it on the ground. I take a step back.
It sounds like high pressure, but
I think it's broken.
And then it
talk
looks up to Cornell, and then it looks to that direction, and it looks up to Cornell, as if it's trying to convey a message.
Twitching.
I think it's fully
you just see there's one tree that has like 5 different, like tiny little, like metal slivers just embedded in it. Like
Maybe there's some acorns in the tree.
Yeah, maybe it's hungry. I don't know.
big, strong, high pressure winds.
Hey, buddy, you can relax. We might have something back at camp.
You know what? You'll probably feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's cold.
It's cold. It's definitely cold.
You
Makes
can
sense.
hear a sound of a tree getting splintered by
We're picking up this walking back to camp.
and by that point, you're noticing that this thing can fire as far into the forest as it can get. You begin to see tiny little metal chunks from trees. You are a few hundred feet away from where your drone is. But then again, you feel it moving.
It's going further away.
Oh yeah.
Rocky, you both have a.
You do?
Oh, sorry. Melly one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Is this from the environment?
Oh, sorry. No, you take a d6.
Yeah, D6 non-lethal damage.
Sorry, because I'm thinking of Marvel rules. Perfect. You take 2 points of damage each. Much better than fatigue, because fatigue is fun. I've realized.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's not like so you just put it there.
That's cool. Separate system. I rolled with the penguin dice, so as soon as it's perfect,
Yeah, nice. Little nice
little
control.
frost staggers. And you roll them out too. So
Does that consider like
I
no.
cool.
I'll look up what it does.
wanted a real one.
Closer. When it is roleplay, stop being roleplay.
Never.
There's some good jerky.
The beacon finally stops moving,
Yes.
and
I'll
the
me some dirt.
smell of cooking meat begins to hit your nose as a cold draft of wind is blown against you.
Listen up, Cap. Let's get that quickly.
You walk,
Oh, calm down. You're on the horse now. You're fine.
walk another 100 meters.
It's cold.
And then that little bit of
He's fine.
orange light glows.
Remember's giving up warmth. He's a big guy.
You know how I get those heebie-jeebies sometimes, right, Monkey?
Yep.
Something weird's going on back in town. Seems like I felt like someone was watching us.
Everyone's watching us.
Yeah, but this was different. Let's just keep our eyes peeled on it.
Do that.
And from your backs, as you eat, this trotting that sounds hesitantly trotting,
You're fucked. That's what it means.
snapping branches beneath dry snow and leaves. The sound of approaching footsteps and horse steps grow louder and louder until you guys are very visibly able to see the fire, small, barely glowing, and 2 bodies, their outlines, appear to have twisted in your direction.
So it's that fire.
I'm gonna break
Just
into
get the head of its stag and just wait for the flesh to burn off.
Cooking meat.
Thank the creator. Oh my god, that's fire.
You look like shit. What happened?
How long is the fire? It's so cold.
Still got a foot on the
Yeah,
horse,
yeah,
and the
it
horse
was fire.
begins to dry.
He's on the horse. I switched to
Freshly cooked. Nice and warm.
I did not prepare for the cold weather.
Melio does not appear to be moving, so you can draw him.
I have this nice coat that you gave me.
It has been snowing since like
Yeah, but for some reason,
Are
there's
you
a problem.
wearing like any cold up clothes on
that's
us?
fair.
Here, have this cloak from one of the soldiers from Lancaster.
He has a blanket, and it does look to have
This is like a traveling cloak from the thing.
thick parka.
Yeah.
Exactly. Putting that on him, you're still cold. Like, instantly putting on something warmer doesn't get that away, but you just stay close to the fire, and you shaky breaths.
So, how was town?
They're screwed. Well, no, not really. The sculptor, which is one of the big figures in the town, went into the church and came out as some sort of an abomination. So it was a big witch hunt, and he was getting hung, and then he broke free and killed a bunch of people. But I think he might have died at the end. But other than that, there's undead everywhere, and also demons everywhere, and witches apparently that we never met. So they're screwed. Yeah. All of the monstrous races are leaving town, or at least if they're smart, they are. So,
Wait, he turned?
it turned into like a lizard thing. He was real messed up with like claws and stuff.
Oh, that's sad false.
Were you followed by any chance?
Not that we saw now. We shouldn't go north. We should turn around.
No, we should go here. This was a mistake.
This is a terrible idea. We're gonna go to the equator right now.
Well, while straight north, well, actually northwest would be the coldest, and we could go northeast with the coast eventually. A bit warmer there, especially around the city.
It's summer, so
It's also summer.
it doesn't really matter where we go. As soon as it's winter, y'all.
It's summer.
Anyway, yeah.
What?
Gets colder.
It's the month of Mam, right?
Look, all my winter clothes are at my ship. Probably west. Swam in the ocean.
Ain't cold. Keep them colder.
Well, it's not like we can just go back to town.
No, probably not. Not for a little while, at least.
Yeah.
Well, Edmina,
No one is lying on his side.
gave us something to do, unless we're just traveling. Apparently, since Simmer fled town, he came up north with his wife. So if you find him,
Wait, fled?
yeah, this morning, apparently. So that's what we saw.
Someone that seemed so enthusiastic about being part of the Nine Swords to think that he ran away is
Yeah, she was pretty confused about it as well. Apparently, in the last few days, he's been changing. He's been getting a lot more timid. Apparently,
sense.
That explains his wild, like, swing personality.
Yeah. Do you have like anxiety or something?
I don't really know, but he left with his wife,
Okay.
who was an anthropologist.
Well, right.
Assuming you want to
City
rest here
folks.
for a bit before we head off.
Yeah, probably. We need to discuss what happened in that goddamn town.
Also,
At the very least.
holding a lot of rubbish, really. So please take some shit off me.
I don't got a backpack.
I don't have any method of carrying too much.
Sack broke a while back.
Right. Well, we got the plate armor from whoever that guy was. Who he killed.
You're carrying full plate armor.
I do have a bag. That's basically a trash can. I got
Things sticking out of that box.
5 of his magical scimitars if anyone wants it. If not, we're selling them.
Wait, they're scimitars? I thought they were short swords.
Yeah.
Scimitars.
Damn it!
What?
I can't use scimitars. What the hell? It's a curve. How the hell am I supposed to swing that?
It is very weird.
What's the difference?
Can't you just learn to?
Curve.
You use them?
No.
Give me 10 years, I'll learn how to use it.
I am trained in them, but I already have my axe.
Well, you could do with it, I guess.
My axe requires both my hands.
I don't even
Well,
know how to
then
use short swords.
Hmm?
If it was a morning star, I could use it.
How specific?
Yeah.
Whatever your giant sword you had.
And I got a
Gone.
ever-burning torch that I stole from the church. Also, much to it now.
Stole from the church.
This thin white road of fire. Barely actually flickering. It looks more like a circular orb of light.
Does it give heat?
No, it doesn't give heat. But
Oh,
Apparently, it has a
Smoky,
charge to
as you
how
look
big
at-
it was.
Cornell looking at it, you see the white fire in his hand and on his shoulder.
Is it like a flashlight?
you mean the hell is
Hell is
attached to
There
them?
is a patch
Yeah.
with a white flame on it.
Is it like a flashlight torch?
Oh no. A white flame. It looks very similar to the stitch in your shoulder.
This would be spell
I guess.
Also,
Yeah.
no.
I mean,
No. There's a spell check.
that makes sense
What
to
is
me.
use magic item?
I really
yes, that's exactly what
put
it
those pieces together.
is. Sorry. Where is it? It's disable device.
Well, a bunch of magical
Disable devices like
Crickets.
warping and stuff.
weapons, which we can't review.
Actually, I don't know how to use this, so I'm gonna give it back.
Yeah, you should just take. You're a tinkerer.
I was going to say, if you want to make
I can
it,
figure out use magical item check.
I'm not trained in use magical device.
Oh, these swords as well.
I don't need it.
Well, what if you transfer them enchantments to something else?
So,
We'll sell
If you can make it into a longsword, that'd be great.
Power forge, possibly.
Right, I forgot about that.
What about his obsidian quarterstaff that he had?
Yep, I know that too.
Does anyone know how to use quarterstaffs?
Seen the size of that thing? This is not a
It's
weapon.
bit large.
Surprisingly, no quarter stouts, but I do know how to use it as an arcade focus.
Well, I guess that's something.
But I'll need to identify this all the time, so.
Okay. Where are we headed?
Where are the snakes?
Well, they're not handling this cold well, definitely not northwest.
you actually remember that those snakes were
Probably
specifically
east.
at a section
Towards
of Earth
Toulon.
that was very
Eventually they were.
warm for it being so cold.
I'll take my coat off and I'll throw it onto Melion.
Throw on the melon, still not moving, trying to contain as much body warmth as he can.
Just right next to the fire.
One stone.
It's okay, I'm fine with cold. I was just unprepared for this very drastic change in temperature.
Covered in
Yeah.
in Cornell starch.
Once I dry the meat, it'll give us enough, probably rations for 2 or 3 days.
As I said before, I have a lot of important stuff on my ship. Not only that, but I have access to my arcade server, which will give me access to more spells, which I can suddenly start tinkering around.
So,
I'm gonna pretend I understand anything of what
yeah,
you
I
just
know
said.
what that means. So you're saying we should head to your ship? That's where you want?
Definitely. Back in the day, I had a title. I was known as the false wizard of the West.
False wizard.
Yes.
I thought you were a mechanic.
Did you know?
Yes, so much so that I was known as the false wizard because I couldn't be.
I've been around, never heard
Can't go south through Kula to get to.
Have I heard that name before?
We could go west,
Yeah.
across the burning bridge, and then on the inside to the lake, which should be
Kind of cut off at the moment. Unless we headed back to cooler, but
Would this be
same problem.
history
somewhere in the middle of the lake.
This
in the middle.
history or local?
It's a shipwreck.
I'm not trained in either,
It's
so
like
I
a
don't know.
lake.
But strangely it became an island.
So we gotta
I mean, I
find
get
a
it.
boat.
Actually, you know what? I would say that only because we should go forward.
We could go to.
That title be.
What if we go to Kula, get a boat there?
It's critical in that.
You have
The
a-
Brandis River to the
I'm not a very. I'm more of a visual learner. Does anyone have a map?
Does it?
Surrounding area, at least.
Uh,
Okay, we're dead in the water.
Okay, hold on. I did take a stick and I draw.
a plan.
I know the area. I draw the area at the river and point at one. There's a river going through Toulon.
I got a map from
That
a
goes.
the place we already explored.
Rookie has just spent 2 minutes half describing and half blowing what you see in the background, which looks pretty accurate.
So
And then
this is not where we are. That's where we went.
No, that's too specific of an area. I'm not talking about that one.
Where the hell is this?
That's the place we went through. So the valley. That's where we walked.
That's the burning bridge. We're like around here.
Yeah, we're north and west of that.
Oh, I didn't
So we're
realize.
like up there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a go around.
She told me there's a
Okay.
what? There's a place called Blossom View. That's north of Warnhold. That's a nice place, but there's a west, right? And there's a grove in
your
that.
place is cool.
There's a grove in that area.
Have I been to Boston View before?
The
Wormhole.
name isn't familiar with you.
Too far west.
It's north of here. It's like a town. It's abandoned town.
How far?
I'm particularly sure, but I think she said day.
Alright, so head moving in the morning, maybe we can make it.
Well, it's morning now, but
Probably an hour or two.
If we head after you lot warm up a bit, maybe middle of the day when it's warmest.
I mean, if we want to look for some simba as well, that'd probably be useful. He said he'd probably go to Warnhold, but there's also a grove there, with a
Plants.
bull person
a dude. I don't know. She pointed him out as a person who might help us. Are you good at chess?
No, I don't know. What's that?
What's chess?
Like a game? Have you ever played chess? Oh shit!
A long time ago.
Never played it.
Yeah, she said he doesn't like
Is that like with cards?
no, it's with pieces and stuff. I can play. I'm not the best though. Anyway, if we need help, we can go there. But yeah, I think Warnhold is probably a good place to go for now. Although it should be abandoned, but that just means that the bugbears and ogres and stuff that are in this area probably might be there.
Well, hopefully we can negotiate to safe rest of that. Maybe they have their own town.
You mean in Warnhold or the Grove?
Warnhold.
Well,
Is the Grove not in Warnhold?
it's west of it.
Local,
No, I have. No, I'm not even classical. I have nature.
okay, roll me an
Look, regardless, Warnhold is a better place anyway because we can actually find it.
Absolutely. Yes.
10.
10. Okay.
Did you? Do you got skinned?
Yes, I've skinned it.
Where's the skin?
Yes.
Right over there. It's
Hanging from the log,
I've set up 2 sticks. It's like right next to the fire, right?
thick and kind of still swaying with the
Yeah.
wind.
I could probably make like a really bad bag out of it.
So like a leather sack.
Yeah.
We'll support the
What
thatch.
about why don't you just make yourself like a poncho?
Oh, I mean, for you to hold stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. You are a bit of a pack mule.
Well, just make something that I can put on my.
Hat my horse butt.
Something around that.
I just mean I can sew things together.
Well,
Although I don't know how to tan, so it's not dry. So it'd be terrible.
don't worry, I can tan.
Okay. But how long is it going to take, though?
It'll take like 2 or 3 days.
Well, yes, but I can just do it fast and make it so it can tan.
We don't have any salt or whatever you need to tan shit.
Loki with a 10
Very bad tan.
with a 10 major check. This area again still has this twinge of feeling familiar. You know that north and west, the mountains there, you never went, further than the area you're in, which is why you feel like being here. This feels like the border of where you went because the mountains or cold climates you could handle, and your tribe is actually very good at adapting to it.
But the mountains are not very good at.
The things that would lie in wait at the edges of the mountains was the problem.
And also the Granada dynasty, because then we don't
They
like them at
often
all.
actually would stay tucked into the mountains,
Exactly.
protecting themselves. The things on the outsides, the scavengers, far more greedy and hungry than you are.
Another concern about going west is that these mountains hold many dangers. I don't know what, but my tribe always avoided them through here.
And ahead of you, in the direction away from town, you're looking at a large valley separating 2 different mountainscapes covered in forest.
Well, you're a tribe?
If we stay
Yes,
close to the
I
stream,
Where are they?
I don't know.
I'm familiar with the territory around
I'm sorry.
But the more we go inland, the more I'm clueless, the less helpful.
Yeah.
Although I did study some geography.
I think your base geography skills will tell you that you're looking at like the valley, right? So you're
Also familiar with the
My bad. I dropped something.
these places are actually old enough that the information you know of, like this valley, what it looks like, and you don't actually have a good amount of information on the northern valley, but you know that Tulun Port, furthest north, the harbour city, was actually reinforced by elven magic so that the valley that you're looking into wasn't a valley filled with water. It allowed Prologue, the town behind you, now you remember, to not be a bigger turtle lake. This is the gully of once a very ancient stream, now vibrant life.
Million, so you got yourself warmed up. Do you good at finding out? I was trying to find some herbs, medicinal, for this fellow Tom.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't quite hurt anymore, it's just numb.
Yeah, that,
I will get off with the blanket still. Trying to
Take a
find
bit
some,
of, like,
some
flesh on the
medicinal
finger,
herbs in
so-
town.
The fingernails.
Give you the D20 shape. I got it from Amina. It's a bloodstone. She said you can use it to absorb a disease or use it to cure some stuff. A simple disease. You got that from the undead thing, right?
Yes, I got that.
I just say that's so sus.
You want-
A sense motive, this
You want a
guy.
sense motive? Yeah.
I'll do a bluff check.
Yeah.
-2.
Now what?
2.
Okay, never mind. 6. But it's now 1. So
Okay.
that doesn't matter.
Okay. Fuck, that's a real close roll. Natural 1.
But it is
your
6.
bonus is above it. You. He's not hiding it. I'm not going to give it to you. He's not hiding that this isn't the cause, but it's certainly an aggravating.
She said it's good for like simple stuff, which is why I managed to get 2 out of her, so he has 1, but
She said quiver was effective against us.
I know how these work.
I don't.
I just place it against the wound.
You
It's
actually
useful for like dark stuff. But I mean, Grok, if you could maybe figure out specifics.
local mountains to your area. If you do, I was going to say,
I think we should save it for a more serious occasion.
religion or local.
Holy
I
shit,
don't know
those are some
either.
fancy rations. So for the church.
You look at it.
That's horrible.
You look at what looks to be congealed,
I saw that one of the
petrified blood.
Right.
And there is something that gather is very much from the earth, but at the same time, swear that half of Demeanor's core riches are found deep under the earth. In fact, Caligo Valley's larger support system was implemented for mining, in that the mountains around this whole region are filled with fertile stones and maybe magical stone.
So do I know how to use it? Do I just put it against the
I
wound?
don't know how to use it. It's magic.
Well, you're not. The AIDS leaves. No, you put it up against him, and nothing happens.
Maybe I eat it.
No, I don't think so.
She said it draws the
Perhaps I hold it.
sickness out of you, yeah. Do you know how to figure out how magic happens?
Cornell's fingers, you hold it, and suddenly your left hand, this is the one that's been damaged,
Yeah, the cursed one.
in your palm, the stone grows warm.
Ooh.
It doesn't get hot, but there is a it's retaining this warmth, and it even feels like it's kind of like flowing into
Why don't you like grasp it tightly?
Okay.
you grasp it, and that warmth you feel concentrated on your knuckles around the inside of your palm. Your fingers feel like as they kind of grip it, that it is hotter than it feels like it's resonating. Feels like you're touching the surface of boiling water, but the warmth you get from it is cool. It is cooler than that kind of almost painful warmth. It's on the verge of being painfully hot, but it never turns into it, and you don't get a drawing of any sort of energy out of it.
This wouldn't be
None of the
considered.
ichor or like stains on my arm react or anyway. Nothing.
It wouldn't be considered a potion.
But,
Yeah, I
but
can't help. I know nothing about this.
Alright. That's what I'll just check on. You're very one.
Oh, you.
So, I got 2. And me is very nice.
Don't exactly know, but I'm assuming it's the appraise check, and I'm going to be casting read magic at the same time. That would functionally be.
Take magic.
Appraise is usually to determine
You can also do for magic light.
Yeah.
do you know, can you comprehend the worth of magic item, or you just can't?
Appraise is comparable with what?
Yes. So for an item you've never held before, there is.
I just have appraisals because I've.
I'm looking for my DCs.
I think it's appraise is usually DC like 20.
Yeah, harder one for sure.
Yeah. And then would read magic help because it explains the magic type?
If it's
how
magic.
it works, it's a cricket.
I think read magic is just for specifically reading.
Maybe. Sure.
Maybe.
That makes sense. Because there's only I understand.
Alright, that's all.
That's 13. I can't roll higher than 10.
Right now, you picked up a lot of like pearls and that sort of things from the sea. You know how conductive, like, interesting energies are. But this, ironically, perfectly playing, this is an error, and
What?
it feels like more natural than it does magical. And in fact, as you hold it, there is this faint warmth. Like, to the severity of your wound, it gets warmer. Of your wounds, it gets warmer. But it honestly just feels like, it's carved to a degree that is impressive, but it is just a natural stone. Not actually conductive magically like normal things like this are. It's different than quartz. It's a real stone without being type of conductor.
Well, at a base level, I have to try again another time. I'm too exhausted. All I can tell is that this is more of a natural type of magic.
Can I keep this?
I want. I got it for you.
I'll just
Rip the cloth from my little loincloth thing, tied around it, put it around the necklace.
Regardless, go out later if you want. We can look around for medicinal herbs. I'm not decent at that.
Alright. Well, do you spend the time here to rest?
Yes.
Okay. I would ask for watches, but there is no lightning. There is no booming. The chill you got before does not return, and over the course of 8-ish hours, by the time you come to full consciousness, by the time you rouse completely, there is a humid warmth trapped by the clouds, and no snow falls. But above you, still, this dense layer of cloud that is not left on the 12th of Mem.
Now I sort of like feel the air to see how close to rain it is.
That's a great point. Nature.
I think that's survival actually.
Oh, if you're right. Where's my survival skill? Where is it?
What?
Oh,
To tell the weather is, I think, survival.
It does.
Could be nature.
I think you're right. Really right. Learn together. I'm not seeing it.
What are you looking for?
Telling the weather is survival, right?
That could be nature.
I was looking at survival tracking. Survival nature, you predict weather up to, with a DC 15, up to 24 hours in advance.
Yep.
Every 5 points above results
More time.
predicting weather in 1 additional day.
Okay. 15.
And you can also add your bonus points. Yeah, good. Now on the table.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. Yeah, 16.
16.
Plus 7.
You have maybe 15 hours before whatever humidity either holds back for one more day. This is the tricky part, is that at this point, you're pretty sure it is going to rain. And I don't mean, 16 hours is too far. 12 hours, 12 to 15 hours away. At night, it should rain.
Yeah, in this area it would rain, but I'm assuming further going north. West. Probably going under snow instead.
Likely.
It'll probably rain 12, 15 hours. Although if we go further north, it'll be snow.
And you remember the thunder that came at you the day before, or around the
Likely
attack.
to be a thunderstorm as well.
There has been no rumbling.
No rumbling?
Not since you left Cooler. Even in the fake sessions, like I said.
Because you've identified. Which just gives you
nothing.
Well, we've decided to go towards Gloomhaven or WARNHOLD.
WARNHOLD first, unless you can go to Bloomhaven first.
WARNHOLD would be closer, wouldn't it?
I don't know, but it's a town, so it'd be easier to find. It's probably going to be picked clean, but we might be able to find useful stuff there.
Would my track not gone to Portal, but near?
Warlord?
Yeah, come on.
At this point, in the direction you're going,
So as far west
the
as.
path, it's north, but it's like basically perfectly northeast of the valley.
Yeah.
At any point when in the direction you're looking through, you can't see the town. The path ahead looks to be a location you have been before. But at this point, because likely you would be coming from the east, like through, you're not getting a direct sense of have been here. But upon closer approach, you may. At this point, it all still looks a bit too. The forest and the mountains look still a bit too bunched up to be perfect terrain for you.
I got camp and start our march.
So you do.
No, wait, before we leave,
Never mind.
we need to talk.
Does anyone know about WARNHOLD? Any information?
Well,
It was attacked by drows, supposedly, a month ago, although Edmina doesn't believe that. Apparently it's abandoned now, but this whole area's been occupied? Not really. Apparently those roving bands of monstrous
people have moved through. So it's possible they're there, but it's supposed to be abandoned. Is that all?
That's all I wanted to ask.
We needed to talk, well, not really, about what happened back in Crueler.
Do you want to walk and talk? Or?
Yes. With the 9 swords guys, we'll take responsibility for what happened. I was unclear on my communication on what we should have done. But for us, for all of you, if you're gonna listen to me, killing has to be a last resort for everything. Leaving bodies everywhere is the worst possible thing. It's even worse than leaving live people. Even if you commit a crime, for good people like them, they weren't going to let us go. So it had to be done. Whatever. But us fighting them like that, that's what got Viper killed. We can't do that anymore.
That's true. You're careful. Work more combat at least with units.
Well, I think he's proposing that we try to get less into combat.
Well,
That too.
Yeah.
But this is not really for you. You seem to treat killing as like a tool that, you can use when you need it. But you like it. And I don't care whatever happened to you in life or why you don't like humans or whatever. But that bloodlust is going to get you killed. It's going to get us in danger. If something like that happens again, I can't be a part of this. It's too much. And Greg, you're part of the problem too. You seem to have this whole blasé, I'm a neutral person about me, as if, those people would think of it that way. They're dead now. It doesn't matter anymore. Whatever.
Alright, don't give me that fucking bullshit. I know that you are a hired assassin. I've worked with you before. You can't hide behind the morals of saying that you think it's unfair to kill.
I don't care about killing. I killed that guy because he was the problem. He was the healer. I killed him. The morals isn't the problem. Also, I'm not an assassin. I've never been paid to kill anyone. It's an independent contractor thing. Again, morality doesn't come into it. It's not the problem. But killing people is messy, and it makes more problems than it ever solves. I ain't judging you. I don't care. You hide behind this. I'm a war criminal. I sell people weapons. You're a terrible person, Grog. This is what I'm saying. But that's neither here nor there. I don't care about that.
Look, in a war like this, it's kill or be killed.
Yeah, once you get to the killing part, yeah. But, there's things you can do before that, like diplomacy or also...
I do agree that avoiding combat is very much more this getting into unwanted violence. But we don't have that luxury in a hostile territory, where if you even look any bit different, the xenophobic little bastards will come but.
Actually, they were kind of
Pussies.
nice.
I guess you didn't see the public hanging.
The what?
The public hanging.
I know I saw that bit. He was an abomination that deserved to die. But we were walking around town all day. Nobody ever attacked any of you.
We didn't even get into the town.
Well, yeah, but we were outside with the sailors, which are the... Yeah, but not in the fisherman market. You just had a hood. Everyone can obviously see your giant tusks and your green ass.
Look, we're going to have to be definitely more careful for what's going on forward. And yes, killing should be the last resort. But once we start killing, we can't have witnesses or we're going to suffer the consequences. They'll be much more dire than any survivor.
Yes. Just why I said kill all of them. Those were men with families. It doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe I'm not cut out for this whole leadership thing. We should just have a democracy in this group.
No, you're bringing up these problems and trying to solve them. That's what he does. Better than any of us.
No, I'm trying to get you to stop killing people.
That's the problem, and you're trying to solve it.
Well, thanks, I guess. Makes me feel slightly better.
Look, I mean, I agree. Like, as much as most of them kind of deserved it.
They were slightly rude to you because they thought we were criminals.
Definitely wasn't the type of blood that family that
Some situations where bloodbath and warrant shall hold out for those.
give them 3-second chances instead of 2.
I still think just 1 second chance is enough.
We'll see.
I think you're true about forgetting the point. Right now, we need to figure out a way to avoid confrontation.
I think that's simple. Just avoid any town, settlement, live in the wild.
Well, we tried that. work out too well.
We can't live in the wild. It's not gonna work out.
Okay.
What is your goals, right? I have nothing. I've lost my family. I've lost my occupation, my tools, my connections. I'm stranded. This guy is the only thing I have to somewhat pop of my past.
We knew each other for a week. It's really not. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Look, a week is better than nothing. What are you trying to do?
Good irony, but you've lost everything. I've just gained everything. All that stuff I've lost take it to go, but I've gained what I've lost freedom. And so I seek to discover more of my loss and hopefully in this life find my family. I have a chance of that. So
Your family's lost. Where?
somewhere on this continent.
I haven't heard of any centaurs for the past 100 years.
That's a little point. We hide.
Right. How about you? You just want to go home?
Primarily. I mean, I went to sleep a month back and woke up yesterday, so I'm putting a clue in. It's
Is that a recurring problem?
not as far as that. But what's your goal?
I'm a fully functional person, so I guess my goal now is to help you all find what you want. I do think I'm stupid for saying this. I think our best thing to do right now is to try to get your ship, at least get to your ship. But the thing, we need resources and we need more people. There's no way we can do this, especially now with Viper gone.
Well, Amina said to find since yeah.
She can't offer much. If we get him back, I can get 35 gold out of it. But I mean, since Simmer was our liaison between him and her,
Could we convince her to potentially, help us out with that ship that came in a week back? Or not a week back, yes.
maybe. She said she had an elven friend who delivered my horse from the place to, maybe it was that elven girl, I don't know. But what she said about that boat, that could be useful. But I mean, we still need more strength.
Yeah.
Magic, I mean, we're finding magic weapons, which is useful, but I can't use those. And we still need more.
Also down a person.
What about the town you're talking about?
Which one?
Warnold?
Warnhole?
Yeah, the one where you had a contact apparently from music. Said if you needed help, you could go there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a bull person. She didn't tell me his name. He's like a short minotaur-looking guy.
Look, I've been Minotaur before. They're not that bad.
No, yeah.
Why don't we find Warnold instead of entering, swing past Bloomhaven, meet with this feller, and then circle on the way back through Fines and Simmer, then head back to Core. That should connect all our dots.
Is Warnhold a collective of various uncommon races or just like Minotaurs and something else?
I think for the most part it's abandoned.
It's abandoned now. I think before it was like a normal human town.
Some military presence there before, but that wasn't wiped out with the attack.
Like a normal sanctuary town.
What's this Minotaur man supposed to give us?
The Grove. Sorry, what was the name of the grove?
I believe Blossom View.
Blossom Views, yeah.
Blossom View. In the Blossom View, there's something called the Glowing Gardens.
Glowing Gardens.
And I will say that specifically, she said, across a riverbed, a cave where the Minotaur is. Bullman.
I mean, shelter, maybe resources. She wasn't specific, but I mean, anyone she's willing to point out will probably be useful in some way, considering we don't have much to go on.
So she sounds like, just from your approach, that she probably hadn't been there in the 50 years since she came here. It's a long time.
So,
Did you see any guards? Different sort of dispatch in the town?
Where? Maybe.
Cooler with that freak fella.
Not really. There was the Silver Flame guys. I think they were overseeing it, or but I didn't stick around for it. Got free and started killing people, but it eventually got pulled down.
Yeah.
There was a guard that was following us, but I don't think he was part of the Silver Flame. But he got impaled by something. I don't know what. I'm pretty sure, or at least I'm pretty sure, we weren't followed out of town, but I mean, that was not in the best mindset of the town.
I felt a chill a while back.
Well, everything around here is horrible.
Because as you walk, that ahead of you, over a hill, path becomes visible. And something strange on that path. A large tree, dead center of the road, a willow tree, leafless, and split in the center, like a lightning bolt, has opened the tree up, and many still gnarled, claw-like fingers hang from the sides. And that is where I want everyone in the room for Jake to leave. Cornell, as you look at the tree, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, which is a
Will.
wisdom in D&D, will in Pathfinder.
That's a 9.
That is a 9. As you look down at the path, there is a truly unholy, rotting, petrifying smell that begins to creep from that direction towards you. And blown by the wind, a chill, a familiar chill, your mind, your eyes see something that isn't there. You see the split in the tree, and you hear beside you the trotting. And you continue to walk reflexively, getting closer and closer. But it's as you get closer that you realize those distant, claw-like branches. They're stiff, and what looks like a thick amount of vine or dried brush that hangs from the edges get closer and closer. And those things on the edges of those branches, you begin to see in the shades of red of your eyes. They are not vines or swamp brush, but bodies impaled on the edges of this tree, and it is split in the center like a giant sword is cut in half, yet the outer edges appear to be piercing bodies. And it is at this moment that now you're close enough to notice stiff, barely swaying, pinned bodies on these furthest branches, that you notice that they look down at you, their heads stiff but loll to the side, and look at you. Their bodies are charred, blackened, but you can see nobility is the closest word. Garments, robes, attire that looks to be in varying stages of charring. You see what almost looks like a man with a ripped wizard's hat, a classical pointed hat, and another one with the type of hat similar to what you wear. You see books, scattered things around you, but as you get closer, you realize that the tree is weeping. The red sap drips from the kind of curved parts, making this almost very, very slow shower of red-like sap dripping from the tree. You get closer and closer, and you feel your friends beside you. They don't talk.
If I look back, are they still down?
You look back, and it's like it's just an outline. Like they're shadowed. Like the horse body beside you's there.
Yeah.
Luckily that's familiar, but look at his face, and it's just black. And as you get closer, something is familiar. As you look through split in the tree, your mind becomes a rush of memories. Your mind suddenly flooded. You are in a room. You're lying down. You're on your side. And a man who sat at the edge of that room looks at you, slumped to the back of the wall, hands crossed. His title of the Eradicator makes the visage of Deucalion seem imposing. But with only the shades of red and black you can see of him, it's hard to gauge much detail. Where in the darkness of this room, you see his form moves fast and approaches you, and in this darkness, a light, a green glow emanates from something that is pulled from the side of the table beside him, something out of sight for you, but it's a book. It looks like it's covered in bark, but there is this very, very faint green glow that emanates from the book, something you've never seen. He's close to you now. The shadow of who he is, the tall height of him, his body, his weapons, all of that is shadow. But this book that the man appears to open in front of you, where in the darkness of this room there is nothing but shadows of red, black, suddenly in front of you it begins to glow. This moss green light illuminating a page that he opens, that somehow, while nothing else is visible, you can see details of 2 pages that don't make sense. Scripts that go down vertically are written in a language that maybe it's your eye strain, but you just don't recognize. Symbols, though, not writing. And in the center, split in the center of the binding, there is an hourglass made of branches, both up and down, like the willow tree you just looked at, except it's whole. And these branches wrap around both sides of what looks like roots and branches and roots. The book looks upside down, but not upside down, and it all glows. And as you see that, he notices, Cornell, if this is you, and you can hear my voice, remember this book, remember this page. The details of the page are hard to see, but it describes the leafless hourglass made of intertwined branches where the veins suddenly begin on one side of this hourglass begin to glow. The bottom, the veins of or roots of black begin to glow that green. The whole bottom part of this hourglass tree lights up in front of you. And then suddenly the color of that moss green is enveloped. Something is pulled from that page. Roots in a book become real and begin to envelop, emerging until the point where all of that green light in front of you is gone. And suddenly you are being wrapped in thick vines. And your body feels so weak, but you realize in that moment you're not in your body. And then you blink. And beside you, Loki talks like he was doing just a moment ago as you continue to walk towards the tree that you never went close to. And that is where we will go and break. We return
Oh shit.
to where it is no longer dark, to the shaded sky of a midday northern region of Demeanor. Open plains filled with barren hills, yet ahead of you, as you trot along, the only path appears to have a tree split in the center, as if by lightning, in the center of the road ahead of you. And it is as you all continue forward, Moki, make me a spot check. Perception.
Perception.
Keep saying spot.
Perception.
You know what I'm used to.
10. Roll 2.
Your perception is so good with that.
Plus 8.
Oh my god. Your facial expression is really, I thought maybe think it was a good roll. It was unfortunate. But you, at a 10, did only that there is a single moment where Cornell appears to drop pace. At the top of the hill, the moment you all make eye contact with this tree fork in the center of the road.
Oh, damn, look at that.
You hear the stop of Cornell's feet.
Stop beside corner.
And then, like, the moment you stop, you see he's walking again.
Oh. Okay. It didn't.
Oh, shit.
Run away out of the tall tree.
Hmm?
In the middle of the road.
I think it got struck by lightning, probably.
Why is it here?
It grew here? I don't know.
It's not very well used path.
Well, it's just easier to make a path around it than to. I go up to a tree. And, move it. It's a big tree. It takes ages to clear.
Surely that elves can talk straight.
I can. My wood elves have a natural affinity for, but it's more the tree speakers of my kind are more likely. I never much was for the magic. I never really, vibed with it.
You make your way.
I would like to get close to this tree.
You make your way very, very close to this tree. large, broken, split willow tree that you notice has charred scarring in the center of where the split is. It was hit by a lightning bolt. And you notice there is like thick, dry vines or brush that are at the end that look to be the only things that aren't scorched at the end of the branches. Looks like long fingers extend of these willow trees, and then longer fingernails made of vines, dry vines that you see still kind of break off and fall around you. Look at the tree. Scorched. Clearly scorched. What do you do upon close approach?
Do I remember
Why use this weapon?
if any of the lightning storms seem to be in this direction?
You had 2 lightning strikes very, very close to you over the former day. Both came from north. You both saw in the valley you're now walking. The lightning flashes blew from that way, came in your direction, and then split into open sky where there were no lines. That way. Now the clouds are fully encompassed cooler as you were moving. And ahead of you, this whole time since you left Prologue, there's been no rumbling. Just high, dense clouds.
Can I try to figure out how long ago this happened?
I believe survival.
17.
Okay. Yes. This tree was hit maybe 15 hours ago.
Ooh.
Enough that you actually, I'm going to say, you go up and investigate. You begin to
Dismount
put
member, and I will list it.
put your hands, 3 fingers through the kind of charred, chalky exterior of the tree. And what your fingers reveal underneath the char is a deep red sack that seems to be slowly coming from where the single bit of, open air there is that your fingers reveal. You accidentally basically wipe your fingers through it, and it doesn't smell irony, it doesn't smell like blood, it smells like an acidic sap, but it's not like the rest of the tree is red. In fact, it all looks very, very black.
I think it got struck sometime in the past day.
I thought we didn't speak to trees.
No, I can investigate trees though.
Yeah, whatever.
Did you hear me at? Okay.
Do you bring the rest of the crew closer? Will they keep it
follow
apart, or you just move close with him? Yeah, you're all up at the face of this tree.
I think this tree got struck by one of the lightning storms around here.
One of the green buttons.
I guess.
What's all that red stuff? That's
I think it's sap or resin or something. And I don't think do willow trees normally have red sap?
You know anything, Cleo?
I don't know, these type of trees don't grow in our area, so I'm not quite sure.
Loki proficient in nature roll.
What is my nature? 23!
Holy shit. DC for this
Oh
was 20.
My god.
Now, there's something funny about this. The willow tree saps, especially if a tree that is being struck by lightning would be scorched, less liquidy, especially after many, many, many hours of it drying. The sap is white or green. Yet, as you look at what is in Melion's hands, stretching out between his fingers, this kind of thick, stringy, red crimson sap that is not supposed to come out of a willow tree.
Yeah, Valgar.
Didn't you get it?
That's not
They're pretty big,
normal.
but
It's
I'm
supposed to be white or green, not red.
yeah, I suspected.
Do you want me to identify the treasure?
Yeah, I'll try to get some. I'm gonna shove my dagger in and try to tap,
Bubbles.
and I'll give him
Well,
one.
the split tree, so the biggest part of its stem is open. Do you stab into like where the split is? Or
Where I ran my thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to milk the tree.
Okay, so try to say, I'm gonna make you roll for him, so you take 20 times the time, 2 minutes.
It's like a big jar. How much I can get? So
Yeah, with the big jar.
I taste them.
Okay. Oh gosh.
You feel probably like one cup before it seems to just slowly stop. In that, you watch as Moki beside you puts his fingers, jams it into the small wound you made with the knife, and you put it to your lips. Instantly, that acidic smell tingles in your mouth, followed by a taste of iron so strong that you don't know how you didn't smell it. It almost feels like you're tasting liquefied metal.
Like blood.
No, it's richer or more deeper. It isn't. In some regard, there was probably a lot of blood around this area. At least at a base level, that's what you can gather. Whatever it is sucking up is just the you've not tasted many types of blood. You could imagine. Different races.
I've tasted many blood.
You've tasted a lot of blood.
A lot of blood. And
I have tasted many blood.
Let's say that you are absolutely an expert in the taste of blood.
Mhm.
This is like if you combined two
Proficient in knowledge blood.
of the most well-fed slaves their blood, and you combined that like strength.
People hate
So much so that it almost makes you want to just reject it, to spit it out. It doesn't taste like blood, it tastes like
Oh god, you done.
metal.
like rich blood.
Double.
Like blue blood, noble blood.
It's not a real thing.
Let's
Get it, but you can't
do it. Metaphor.
The blood's red.
looks blue.
Well, but even though you feel like your mouth is being numbed,
Good
when
blood.
you taste it like it's a tingle, and then there's this strong, not corrosive, not burning, just this strong, thick taste at the back of it.
Okay, use your words. Scream if you're done.
Alright.
Grab my axe and stick it into the
Oh
tree.
god! He's gonna kill it! Oh, never mind.
Right beside where your cork is, just embeds it even further, and you watch as what you pull out, your weapon seems to just drip. Doesn't keep it like blood.
It tastes like blood, but it isn't blood.
I don't know what blood tastes like, so.
Oh, it's acidic there. Irony, depending on what type.
What is it?
Okay, got about a cup.
Don't know.
Hope maybe it'd be useful in alchemy or something. If not, I can write in red with it.
Well, in the meantime, I look over where
Pick up the giant tree and just
You rip one half of the V snapped off with your thing. You bring what looks like a massive claw from just all of the branches that still are stiff, charred. Suddenly it's like this raining like sticks. For just
See if
a
it's
moment,
magic. I will see.
you throw it off the path.
Cornell, any insight? Any heavy jimmies?
Tips like the bottom of the branches is heavier than the top. Lands on the branches, snapping in and then falling.
that tree was heavily. No, and it's done.
move the other half out of the way.
I mean, generally when trees get struck by lightning, they're destroyed.
Now it is just a
But
stone.
it's... Is it magical? Wait, is that magic? I mean, magic, if it's magic lightning, it could have transmutated the tree into something else. Or, you know much about magic lightning storms that are green? I think we asked you before.
Well, normally lightning can be many different colors, but
What's the weirdest lightning storm I've ever seen?
We'll do an Arcana check for magical effects of Arcana storms, I guess, or it'd be magical mishaps, I guess.
I'm gonna say you never had an experience, except you don't even have to roll, except for when you, it has never happened, not even in the Cruel Conjurer's Tower, where there were storms you could kind of bring in to cover the coasts with a level of fog. This description, the lightning bolts that were coming for you yesterday, they were blue, but about a week ago, what woke you up first, being washed ashore, was flashes of purple coming from the sky.
Gross.
So no, storms don't change color, like you said, unless there's something up there magnetizing it and changing its very structure. But that is one of the first, but yet powerful casters can cover an entire storm with illusion magic.
Well, I can't really say it's either a magical mishap or it's connected to the boss who blew my ship.
Really? You say there was like a shaman or something on board?
Something like that.
Why does it seem like something we're gonna have to deal with? I don't know. It just gives me a feeling.
Anyways, bad news. Anyways, let's keep heading up the track. Just looking at this any longer.
Leave behind the stone. The strangely dark crimson charred stone. And you walk the better part of 5 more hours.
I can, but if you're thinking of crafting, I don't know how to whittle like that.
That is until you reach the edge.
I've literally got a bow strung on my horse, bro.
Yes, he does. And an even larger guitar case beside that.
You've seen me shoot people with my bow.
Where's the crossbow?
I have a crossbow now.
The arrival as you bend a corner of what appears to be the first side of this valley. A hillside village. What looks like probably was a bustling community, but now is nothing more than a ghost town. Silent and in disrepair, each alley and street appears desolate. The abandoned town ahead of you is an eerie sight. Wooden buildings are in various states of disrepair, some completely destroyed while others aged and dilapidated, while streets remain overgrown with weeds and thick grass, and the only sounds you can hear, apart from your own, is the whistling through the broken windows.
Are we gonna mark this down on our maps and head over to the block, the
Growing
garden?
Gardens.
Yeah.
Oh, Blossom View. I don't know. I mean,
Amina said it was up on that cliffside, which you're now approaching, but you don't see any cool purple flowers, which she said was an indicator.
I mean, I guess this place sort of seems like, how many buildings would you say?
Scattering of maybe about 8.
Oh,
And then-
small village. I'm gonna go through and see if there's anything useful in here. But yeah,
What appears to be as you bend the corner of the largest building, made of stone, high up on the cliffside. You
We
see
can find a good old forge that can make something good.
I doubt the village this size is gonna have a forge useful for anything but making
Is
nails.
there a higher ground,
the
like nearby hills?
Edmina said that Blossom View was on a hill with a forest cliffside with like flowers.
you see Cornell begins to kind of divert the paths, leaving around a few buildings. You see Cornell, there is the kind of jutting hill with parts of it that are steeper than others, but on one of the steepest parts, which you can still see, there is a path to a large looking temple, kind of elevated up, but then you can see well-made stone stairs, 20 foot wide, that lead up to its precipice, where you can see doors hanging horizontally tilted on its frame, like it's been busted.
Well, I mean, we could head up there. This place. I don't like this place any more than I did the others.
I find this more comforting.
Are the buildings like burnt out, or are they just abandoned?
Interestingly enough, yeah, you would expect, raiders, the type of destruction to be fire. Buildings look to be broken through by force. There is no siege marks. There are no clear marks. There are what looks like old drag marks coming from most buildings, but I'm not going to make you roll for this. You see the freshest stuff off the ground, surrounded by many what looks like paths of drag marks across the dirt, covered in weeds. A set of wheel tracks here.
I take that back. This is very concerning.
Yeah.
And you see it leads up to the edge of the temple, where the stairs that you can see at the base appear to have a 2-wheeled wagon on its side. Nothing in it.
That or broken.
It looks actually okay. Like you could just flip it over. It looks like it was just tossed.
Seems like this town got a visitor.
Well, they say the drows attacked and dragged everyone else.
That does not look like a ground attack. Not that
That's
I know
what I
of.
mean. I thought.
Are there any like footprints, like that look like boots or claws? Or
This will be a survival check.
I believe it was about check.
I feel like we need to stick together and do a split up if we're gonna go through here.
21. I don't even know.
In the last 5 hours, there was around the base of the temple some sort of larger, see footprints that don't match humans, to be double the size at least, but like dragged over, or you only get the frame of larger footprints. And
Humanoid footprints or like
there's something else, but it's covered by what looks to be fleeting footprints of humans.
These prints are less than 5 hours old, and underneath all the human ones. Something big was here.
I don't exactly want to disturb something that took out an entire town.
like medium large, huge.
Big footstep looks to be definitely large,
Large.
but smaller ones see look to be in 3 places on the large footprint, of which you only actually see one clearly, only one big footprint, 3 smaller humanoid footprints, and then everywhere else around you, nothing. Just closest to the cart that is turned over is
Right next to the stairs.
right next to the stairs. A single large footprint.
Very good. Small humanoid footprints?
Yeah, it definitely looks to be like indoor boots.
There
Sure.
are some small
Actually, you're even
Humanoids.
almost with a 20 female, thin feminine boots.
Off the gate, it was a female.
I'm gonna
Look at your Kino.
we should probably go loot that card over there. Maybe we can use it to.
I'm probably right next to the car looking for footprints.
You see Loki just pull it back onto its 2 wheels, and what looks to be one wheel just breaks off, but only at the part where you can see it looks to be a metal pole which is jammed underneath the cart's like upper part. So
And
you
the
see
wooden wheel broke off.
one wooden wheel breaks, the other wheel now not supported bends down, and basically the top of the cart is now just a ramp that kind of half slides off. So you see very quickly this cart is you can fix this cart in probably 2 hours.
You think you can fix this car?
Give me an hour or so and I can probably fix it.
It looks like old rusted metal cylinders.
Footprints let's lead to the stairs, right?
They lead to the edge of the stairs where you can see that cart is also topped.
Not heading any further.
Don't stray too far away when I'm fixing this.
We should clear the temple first.
Before you get
Alright.
someone
Wait, you don't want to go in?
you have a look in the temple, sneaky like.
Yeah.
Whatever's around here is in that temple, so.
I will. I've got my bow out.
Okay.
I will
Yes.
creep up to the doors.
Before, in case we run into something, I haven't had something special.
This is my death music.
Gonna pull out
It's changed.
bag, what seems to be short.
Sure.
Alright, you got your axe, right? Give me a weapon. As Doc starts roaring straight
Bit
symbols on it.
hard with all the guck on it, but I guess you do it.
I don't want to go up to the door anymore.
So it has 2 minutes of
That's one.
Cover.
And give my players PTSD.
That's to the attack roll.
Is the door closed?
The doors, which look to be double doors, you only see one of the doors.
Oh, 20
one
feet
of them
back.
is half of its hinge.
I'll be 20 feet back from him.
20 feet back. Do you descend the steps?
Yeah, I'm moving stealthily.
You can actually basically climb the side of the almost cliff face. It's pretty steep, but to get around it, to get behind the temple, you can do it that way. Totally.
I'll just go to the door first.
I got a dirty 20.
For stealthing. So I'm just moving silently. But I'll go up to the
Be back from
half of the door that isn't been broken off, and I'll just press to it, and I'll try to listen inside. Right next to me.
Yeah, please position yourselves.
I'm really more like into a place where I
And
can
you're
hide.
saying,
Yeah.
Yeah. Up on
You're
the
looking
side
at
of it,
stairs,
where it hasn't been broken off. I'm just up against the door.
Blue boy.
I am blue.
Correct.
And yeah, I'm just trying to listen inside.
Oh, get behind me.
I just wasn't trying to get back. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Make a perception check.
15.
15. You are hearing a bunch of background noise. These guys are talking, interfering, but faintest sound of some stone against stone grinding. And as you look in, you don't see anything. Nothing's moving, but at the back of that chamber, you swear you heard some kind of grinding sound.
I'm gonna crouch, get real low to the ground where I'm leaning up against the door, and just put my head inside.
It's dark. It's a very dark chamber.
Okay, I got low light.
You see
that helps.
on top of what appears to be the only tabletop in the center, you see like a satchel, like a messenger bag, or maybe a bit too big for a messenger bag, probably like a get out of town bag, like a looks leather, but like a dark brown, almost black leather.
Just gonna look over to Cornell, and then I'm just gonna like signal, wait 6 seconds, and then follow me, and I'm gonna step inside.
You step inside, and you see the areas you couldn't.
I think I can take total defense as a action.
Absolutely.
So +4 to my AC. That's it.
It is. You see skulls of what look like almost dragon creatures. Large lizard skulls that are bigger than your head, bigger than Brock's head. They are up. Well, only one actually remains up on its pedestal. The other appears to be scattered, like the bone had been hit by a concussive blast. When you look around, you're seeing walls that aren't scorched, but are completely blown out. Some massive amount of force came through here, and there's no blood, or at least with your 15, no dark brown stains, but so much damage here. The only thing that's not damaged or tossed is that single tube at the end of the corridor.
Does that hole there exist?
This one?
In the wall? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will scale up to that.
Is that up here?
It is. Okay. I was going to say climb check, but I've made it in, so it's not. It's 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet. Oh, you want to get in?
No, I'm just going to be peering from outside.
Crash behind the half-wall, pretty
Yeah,
much.
basically.
Loki?
I don't hear any combat or like kind of look. I will walk just a bit closer on the steps.
Okay.
Actually, 50 feet from the front door, right? So,
45. 50 from now.
okay, that's good.
Hello, I'm
You
Mel.
move the Pathfinder one diagonal, and then the rest.
Wow.
No, you can do alternating. I thought
Just behind register.
it's just every second is.
Oh, every second.
It's like basically 5 foot, 10 foot, 5 foot, 10 foot, 5 foot, 10 foot.
Wow.
You said it's dark inside.
There are like all of the walls basically destroyed, and little chunks of the roof here are destroyed. So it's letting in tiny amounts of ambient light, which there is basically none with full cloud.
The reason I'm walking slow is because I'm trying not to be loud.
Fair enough. Well, if you want to make a stealth check, if not,
I
can
go
say
10 feet.
from this distance, you're totally out of earshot for anything.
I will hold my breath for a second, and my eye begins to strain as veins sort of creep up just to that surrounding brow, and I now have keen senses, so I can see in low light. +2.
Your eyes see the shadows get larger while the areas of light become brighter. And Melion, what is your dark vision?
I have the low light up to 60, I think.
And Cornell, what is your low light?
Yes. Oh, wait.
You do figure that out.
I know I have no light.
So I can see quite far in dim light.
Yeah, low light.
I just have low light vision, double the
If only I
distance.
couldn't
that I can
possibly
see.
stealth anyway by taking your fucking plunge.
Okay. Melion.
Oh, you can be full.
Yeah, so hugging the wall, I can only move 17 and a half feet around because I'm stealthing.
Melion, with your
So I can get.
light and perception, you notice there's a keg, like a tiny keg.
Cake?
Keg.
Thank you.
Tiny keg, a basket that's scattered.
Happy birthday.
A sack that looked to be containing some amount of strange metal cylinders, but hollow, like tubes. Look to be in a thin, a minor level of rust. The room, while heavily disheveled, Cornell and Melior, you were both the first two to notice that even upon your first glance, the tomb at the back of the temple appears to have been moved backwards into the darkness, maybe a foot or two. And that, Melior, when you first looked in, and you heard that sound, and then you looked through,
I'll just continue moving.
into the
Hugging the wall. Yeah. I can only go. We're not in combat, so I'm just slowly moving.
How far away am I from the altar?
this wall, this one.
That one.
50. 55.
Okay, I will just use my movement to skirt inside and then exit on that other one. Yeah, so I'll go outside and take cover again.
Cool. You know that it's a bit of a steeper cliff on this part than
Yeah.
it is there, but you want these. No. You don't hear any more sounds. I think your closer arrival is obviously stealthy enough that you're not expecting anything to hear you, but on the off chance that something already did, what do you do?
Or it can smell me. I'm going to move up to here.
Oh, they haven't back up anyone from back here.
You think you could get behind that tree, but
Right here.
Guys, I don't know. I think we should have just gone around this whole town.
That bag probably has useful stuff in it.
Yeah, but like, so does like the NPC maybe.
What NPC? The stats are too strong.
It just means you're standing there.
Yeah,
Can't move up any further.
I moved that far up, and Grok moved behind that tree.
Okay.
I'm not sideways, I'm only sideways because I minion keep
All good. In fact, okay, which one do you want to be on?
just like right there, like in the center.
Oh my god. Amazing. I've got 6 of them, so 2 here, 4 there. So rearrange as you see fit.
I take a look, like where the sort of battle map ends.
Yep.
How does it keep going this way?
Even more of a cliff.
Okay. So it kind of just blends into the hill.
In fact, yeah, most of this shrubbery kind of continues on, but this is kind of like the elevation of the valley, and that way you kind of can hear all the way up there.
Okay.
Okay. So you're getting closer and closer.
I'm going to look out the hole in this wall here.
Mhm.
What do I see down? Just like a cliff that goes down? Like a hill?
Just outside, a boot. Thin. As thin as an elf's.
Do I recognize this boot?
Loki said there was a feminine shoe. As close as you can get to feminine nature would be an elven boot.
Excuse me? I'm wearing elven boots, and I am not a woman. As far as I can tell.
Lines.
You were drunk, you were mistaken for me.
Yeah, well, just because my wife's dick is bigger than mine does not mean I will slowly begin making my way.
Okay.
Making my way towards the
You get there. You realize the sarcophagus is back enough that it reveals a 3-foot wide open slate made of metal, but you can see there are claw marks at the top of it. Like something is trying to dig down, and what looks like 2 hands. One of them appears to have a piece of paper kind of like crunched in it. As you see the kind of dark black hair of a familiar soldier, you hear, I apologize. I apologize for my attempt to hide from you. So the hands actually emerge, and corner you can see hands, and one appears to be wrapped in what looks like a piece of burnt paper.
What?
Please, I have something very important I must depart on you all.
What's in your hand?
It is of vital importance that you listen to me.
Place it on the ground. He won't be shot.
He actually pulls his hands together and opens it, but puts it on the ground. And it's not big, but it looks like a heavily burned piece of paper.
Back up 5 feet.
Does it look like this, Simba?
Yes.
Simba?
You see, a good chunk of his face is heavily burned, which means
I will.
Release the tension out of my...
sorry. I'm so sorry. I won't keep you long, even though I wish I could.
Mr. Simba, it's okay, come out.
Hey.
We're not here to kill you.
I'm afraid that these circumstances are quite beyond my control. He steps out and keeps his hands raised.
I will enter and just, still trained on him, pick up the thing that he dropped.
Very close. He doesn't recognize. Or at least visually, he. I apologize. But then you move. I said, please don't.
5 feet from him.
No, gentlemen. My wife.
Simmer, you know us. It's me, it's Melly One.
Yes.
Wait a minute, we saw you yesterday. Were
You
you...
see, there's a good amount of sweat on his forehead. And me and my wife.
I'm gonna take a 5-foot step backwards out of his range.
I have come across some documents which have come to known as the Weaver's bequest. And you see he points to the page.
Yeah.
During a period of study I did on the night of the festival of grazing, the night before I met you, I searched through the religious archives with my first pursuit. It appeared to be simply, and he's actually looking down at the page like he's reading off it, be a collection of unsorted pages, the different styles of penmanship, and the varying number of papers indicated that this was the work of many hands, perhaps over the period of many centuries, due to the charring on the edges of some pages and the desperate aging. I at first concluded that the pages were all remnants of other books placed together by mere virtue of being orphans.
I'm going to pick up the pages.
You know the page? You see, it's not dissimilar to what he's talking about.
Simmer, slow. What are you talking about?
Shall we say that of long text lost to time and neglected? I'm sorry. As I delved further, I saw consistencies among the pages referencing very old rites of pantheistic religion. This is what caught my curiosity about this place. He gestures his hands up, kind of lowering them in a less defensive way, but still keeping them chest height, shaking slightly. Because there was more cohesion in the collection than I had imagined. You did not know this, but before my wife's field of study was culture, her deep knowledge of systems of faith, and so I invited her to join me in studying the pages I found. Thanks to my wife, her efforts and invaluable time spent led to the identifying of these pages, muddled, able to be sorted into 5 distinct volumes. 4 appeared to be holding a fairly connective relation to the mythological arcs within a number of the systems of faith. But the one, the more literary oddity, something of a missing link perhaps between oral tradition of folk tales and the fairy tales we are raised with today. You realize, Cornell, a lot of the stuff you're reading, he's reading now as you take the page, he's reading it by heart, or scarred to him. But the one more literary oddity is one of the old pages that gave us a separate investigation to undertake. Alice and I disagreed on what to do with it. I saw it fit it only to be put in the first volume, but Alice said my reasoning was defective, and she wasn't wrong. You see a tear begins to roll down his cheek.
She was right about so many things. Oh God, I should have listened to her. It was a very important religious file, you see. So we sent them to be bound. The first 5 volumes, we sent them to Professor Dagenfond. Yes, his work is second to none, and his craftsmanship would have made any one of these volumes a handsome addition to. No, you must realize that they must not be separated, because you see that Alice realized that the pages, oh God. Almost, this guy is like in the midst of a panic attack, brought on over and over again. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. I haven't slept. We sent word to Mr. Dagenfond to stop his work. We tried, I swear, too long we tried. But he didn't respond. I think it was already too late by then. I think he bound them as 5 volumes, and there should have been 1. That's when it started. After I introduced you to Ermina, we came here to WARNHOLD. I thought if it was abandoned, I thought we would be safe in the temple beneath. And he points behind him to what he just came out of. But it must have followed us.
What followed you? What do you mean?
Just after we arrived, there was no foul smell. But my wife was sure something was wrong. She tried to burn her notes. She thought that they were a beacon to it. Or the truth was a smell, a horrible smell, and the cold. We only dreamt it before. But here, it came through the roof of the temple. The stone was torn away, and Alice, poor Alice, all the blood, I was soaked in her blood. And then it was gone. She was gone. And he looks at the boot you're holding.
Yes, I definitely grabbed it.
Grab
I need extra boots.
a singular elven boot.
50 bucks.
It's only left
Bit
shoes.
of flour.
Only left shoes.
All else the same shoe size.
It's true.
He touches himself like he's trying to wipe away something that wasn't there. You have to find the 5 and make them 1. You have to take all 5 and make them 1. Whoever wants to... Well, if anyone is interested in his mental state, you're more than welcome to
I will
roll
sense motive.
a sense motive as well. But, if you guys do that first.
11.
I didn't realize that was plus 8 to this.
Ew!
Natural 20.
Oh,
28.
He is unabashedly unstable, and whatever he has witnessed has affected him so profoundly that his body has not stopped shaking, and the hands he looks at, they're drenched in blood, are not. Only reassure you of the fact that he's gone mad. Several times during the talk, he seems on the verge of breaking, and with a natural 20, you see he really focuses on the notes that Cornell's holding, and what looks to be sexual on the stone tablet in front of him. Looks at it more than he looks at you.
Grab the satchel.
What the fuck?
Obviously, it doesn't have the yellow on the inside. It has a big
Props.
give you a sexual.
Great.
But his knuckles are white, showing his intense posture, and as he
Is any of it in silver?
I'll walk over to you.
not at a first glance.
No? Okay, can't read any of it. Right.
But one you notice to be a similar
As you walk by, I'll just pass it.
this
But
page that he strung up on the kid next to you. Looks to be the last one he had left.
well, Albert, you are
Yes.
lucky that we have arrived just in time. See, from what it sounds like to me, you are the last living recollection of what's in your volumes. So take a fucking seat and wait. If you move a muscle, I will shoot you in the head and put you down like a dog. Right?
Yes. Make an intimidation check. I'm not going to give you advantage, but this is not a high roll.
That's plus
8, I believe.
It's 14, but I will use 1 point to make it 15.
Yes.
I like even numbers.
Yes.
Slumps
15's
back.
not even number.
Even 5.
Yeah.
He slumps against the back of the sarcophagus that he is next to, and actually pushes it back further, revealing what looks to be a plate of metal that is, to your close proximity, heavily scratched into smaller scratch marks.
Okay, pass a minute.
Yes, you should be able to read it.
As you begin to investigate, I want everyone in this room to make a will saving throw,
Oh boy, am I good at these?
except Cornell.
Oh,
You have to work on that will, so that makes sense.
16. 22. I only have a +1.
18? No. 16.
we did forget something.
Oh, I forgot something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
It is important
You get
to
a +3.
inspect the luggage I give you carefully. That is what's fun.
Great.
Sir, my +3.
Go through the rest because I don't have to roll, and you guys.
You don't have to roll. And everyone succeeds.
God, we're so good.
As a truly unholy stench, rotting,
Compliment.
putrefying.
He was with his wife, so that makes sense. I'm going through everything in here.
Sheepskin, dude.
Yeah. Hey, you have to be prepared for whatever was going to happen.
I never said you got kids.
Yeah. I think that's it.
A smell that begins to creep in close to all of you. Out of nowhere, a smell of unholy loss. Like you tasted blood before, but it was magnified 1,000-fold. This is the same, but just the smell of decay, or fresh decay.
What the hell?
And this chill washes over all of you to the point where you feel the hair on the back of your neck tingle.
I give you back the paper I gave you and I move backwards.
Put it inside.
I'm going to look at Cincinnati. What's going on?
As around you, the room begins to darken, and the last thing you hear is Cornell saying that before. Who is light in this room? No.
What about your torch?
Trash can doesn't it?
Just the lights going.
Also ran dark,
Yeah.
so I just said
It's great. All of you have a kind of a form of this dark vision, this dark sense. It is muffled beyond all belief, and it's not from any point specifically. It's like the sky outside of the temple darkens, and so everything in here is just swallowed in darkness. And in one moment, as the hairs stand on the back of your neck and the cold chill begins to wash down your body, something with a dark presence, something predatory, something seeking, as the temperature drops suddenly, there is this incredible sound. It sounds like stone tearing with bone. You hear it sound like it come from both above you and below you, both as the ground shakes and lights. The light around you is extinguished. This dark room, this dark darkness. You, who is closest, Meliorly, you see Sinsima jumping at something, and because you are the closest, it's in the direction of Corner. But it's behind him. It's behind Sinsima. It's this way. And as he leaps for it,
Cornell, move!
you see something above Sinsima, 7-8 feet tall, something imprinted in the shadows behind Sinsima as he leaps backwards.
So,
Even twisted and hunched, the shadow is enormous. And all of you feel something.
Is that your wife?
The spray of blood. Hot blood on your hands and on your face.
oh no.
And all of you hear tearing and rending sounds in a flash, standing at the far side of the room, furthest away from all of you, with his arm extended out of the shadow, clawed, massive, twisted hand, almost of bone and what looks like roots made of black shadow, fingers that are 3-4 times the length of a human, clutched between two fingers is the black, bloody face of Sinsima, and between two massive fingers, a spinal column, still connected to the nape of his neck, runs down across the ground to the foot of Cornell, his arm extended, double the length, enlarged, twisted like all of his fingers have broken and it's just bone, but the bone has twisted into these rivulets. Only one hand, and in the shadows you swear you see a horn. Blood drips from the hand. And Cornell, blink. You wanted to know what was wrong with him. You were going to defend him, and now
Just gonna kill him.
maybe you were just going to kill him.
To solve the problem.
Something beat you to the punch.
How fucking dare you?
And as you look around, there's no body, just the head between fingers or claws or talons that begin to retract and de-deform, re-twisting back. Like on one side of his hand was this horrid monster, and as it flips over, it's back to human. And you swear you saw shadows of a horn. Jake, I want you to tell me what that claw really looked like. Because that was probably the only thing in light.
Yeah, I guess. It is basically just a mound of, it looks like this dark, probably soaked red now, hair that is lapped over and over and over each other and making this almost armor that sort of flows up the forearm to the elbow. Each protruding nail, now a hooked and almost serrated talon. The actual size growing to probably something that would make Moki a little bit on edge. It's purely an arm made to slaughter and destroy.
First.
And what?
Not bad.
I don't know how many of you actually want to do a detect motives roll. Sense motives. But Cornell, is there something in your face that describes this scene best without a sense motive roll?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Shock?
Yeah, probably just like
Confusion?
more of like an investigative.
Irritation?
Yeah,
With the
like kind of like I am annoyed, but I need to figure out what's going on.
In a flash, that dark sky blink and it's back to that light shade of grey. And there is now light back into this room, and there is blood trailing only from Cornell's arm. And you feel your faces, and you look around, and none of you are covered in blood. And the only thing that drips with blood is the spinal column, still attached to the head between his fingers.
What the fuck, Cornell? Why didn't you leave any of the action to me?
Right.
Is your gun out with your other hand?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened.
Why is everybody looking at me?
Well,
Place it on the ground.
What just happened?
in my experience,
Feel it's like all pain. It feels like a new muscle. You're like an incredibly sore workout. The stiffness is there.
my experience, when you black out and wake up and pile of dead bodies, or just a single head, it's normally a good thing.
Now, and all of you were here.
We survived.
You didn't see Cornell move an inch. And Melvin, in fact, you swear you saw something behind Sinsima, behind Cornell that was 7, 8, 9 feet tall in the shadows. And whatever claw extended from that shadow is attached to Cornell's arm.
Don't do anything against true dark vision.
Yeah.
I can still see shadows.
No, you didn't. You saw at the back wall an imprint of some sort of shadow that was bigger than the two ones that was like.
Thank you. I just thank you. I just
Something
drained
using
blood into my
darkness.
axe.
You're not.
Face.
No, you can't.
Yeah, that's not me.
No, that's not how dark vision works. Dark vision gives you a black and white. You still see shadows. You do.
Hey, I have some light sensitivity. I just see the time.
Oh yeah,
I just
yeah.
get
You
shot.
have an even better. So you would have probably been more than Melior.
Yeah.
I would say Melior didn't see the horn coming out of Cornell's head. Okay, let me say this. Make a perception check, just as a base level. We can go through this because you are more goblinoid than I thought.
Yeah.
Or kobold. What?
10.
10.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so your perception's not that great. You
Right.
only see that whatever 8-foot form was behind Sinsima, it moved to him, enveloping him, but it was just like it was some dark fuzz in the back wall that was somehow, like, if anything, a 2D image. Like if you could see a ghost that was just in 2D, but just black. None of it makes sense. And Cornell is still holding.
I took the head off and I'm just still off.
He's still dripping with the
Oh
blood.
yeah, I know. I covered my axe with my face.
It's nice. It's wet. It's fresh blood. It's not like that really potent shit that tree had. It's good.
What the hell did you do? What was that? And I'm back towards the entrance.
Look, I'm gonna go check out the base.
Somebody start saying something. What just happened?
This spine was very
That's the man.
man.
Surrounded by monsters.
Look for
10 minutes, what?
something
Get this
around.
phone.
There's nothing. There's not even blood anymore. There's a single pool of blood at the base of where Moki and
Oh, where are you going?
You're gonna die out there. Viper! Viper is dead.
Rock stands at the top of you.
And Viper was a bigger monster.
And just for our injury.
This incident is like low running nowhere.
There isn't even a blood trail or a mark of scuffing or anything.
Did you take the notes?
No, I give them back to him. Who gave them?
Cigar just spits at you.
Does Viper seem worried at all?
You mean Moki?
No, the horse Viper.
Oh, the horse fighter. No, in fact, it just seems impatient.
Oh yeah. What's the problem?
It presses its head to you. To like nudge you and be like, what's going on?
Okay, put that down.
Okay.
Put it on my
Oh,
belt.
but you just drop it down the stairs.
No, just on my belt. Just tied on my belt.
Okay, using the spine.
I'm gonna crouch next to the horse.
What do the notes say?
Right. How about we go downstairs and see what's happening down there?
It would be nice to be outside.
I'm downstairs.
Oh,
Where is I?
He points to where Sinsima emerged.
can I fit? I don't think I can fit. through the
Alright,
hole.
I guess I'm going on.
I'll stay out here.
I fucking hate dark.
As you go down, your dark vision giving you good light into what is below.
Yeah, no, there's the torch.
Uh,
If that was you, please don't stop
Melior, I'm also going to say, because I've told you, the only thing that is written on the sarcophagus, because you get close enough, is written in undercolor.
I speak that. What a coincidence.
Oh, I speak that.
Do you read it though?
You do? Yeah. Oh, good. I'm sorry. I was only going to tell Melior. Cool. To both of you,
Yay.
written at the edge of where this sarcophagus has been pushed back, woe to those who look below. The devourer sleeps.
Seems real foreboding.
Moving the sarcophagus, secret tunnel
That was out again.
down below.
Secret tunnel.
Down below.
Don't worry, when you said it, God just said it.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah.
This secret tunnel, it looks familiar. Like the temple with just the apothecary, a catacomb, like thin, narrow tunnel peers below. It's made of like a sandstone or some kind of tanned, pale earth that has been so heavily aged and unused, obviously, it is just crumbling around you.
Screw. I want you to walk down there and walk about 30 paces that way. If you die, come back.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Squirrel leaves down.
Come back.
Do you let Cornell come down behind you?
Yeah.
There's no steps up. It's just like basically an 8-foot drop. Press up, press down. Do you keep your arm?
What? Do I get rid of my arm?
You keep it.
I don't know.
It stays.
Great. Wait, so I don't have a human arm?
You've got one human arm, and you don't have a horn.
Okay.
As you make your way down, it is thin and narrow. It is winding, but with only a single direction.
Is it pointing towards the tent? The direction?
Actually, under the mountain. So this way. But then it curves back the way you came, and then curves left. Or to your right. Molded stone you now see is different again. This stone is even older, more grey, less tanned, subterranean, absolutely. There are scratch marks and larger grinding marks on the ground, but no light. So following right, you are led
I've got the magical torch.
with magical torch. There you go.
Wow.
I can see Jim.
You see at the top right sides of this tunnel, molded by stone, rows and rows and rows of crow-like birds, like standing on the precipice, on the edge, upper edge of this narrow tunnel, and in each of these crows' mouths, hundreds or near hundreds of crows down this tunnel every 10 feet. In their mouths are rats,
Okay.
bitten in half in the mouth. All just incredible. The craftsmanship of this stone is amazing. For the fact that it hasn't decayed.
Should have never come here. This was a bad idea.
Yep. This is gold board if I've ever seen it.
Until the last of the crow-like ravens ends with 30 more feet of this tunnel before a black hole opens in front of them.
There's a therapist. Never figured out how therapeutic solve this problem.
Wait, hold on. What's that?
Rock, a massive open space.
That's the game at all.
This is actually called epic, dramatic epic.
Well, let's go, I guess.
Dramatic epic time.
Let's get dramatic epic.
Wait, we're going in there? It's a black hole. Even with light, it's still dark.
It's magical darkness. Interesting. Well,
Woof, you see Grok go through it.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord.
There is some attunement thing on the wall, but you realize that your magic is being muffled. Everything around you appears to have that same magical dissonance that the rod had. And you think that if this was built old enough, being already subterranean, there could be larger chunks of this wall embedded with lead.
Anyway, history check.
Absolutely.
25.
25? Magical darkness is interesting. Different. Did you enter? Realize that this is a singular large chamber with a single fountain, a statue at the top, and a statue of a man with a trident who has the ears of a rat and the tail of one too. But by all accounts, the statue has the garbs of a god. Roman, if you want to put it that way. And a trident that points down with one hand and a finger that does this with the other. Yet what you see,
I was not knowing that this was built over a catacomb. Look, how long ago that to find out just
He's pussy.
Yes.
you see levels of heavy, like,
I heard that god.
aging and collapsing.
We're bitch.
But you see beautiful, well-carved and well-molded cylindrical pillars all spaced around this large statue. Guarding this room, this statue points down, seeming with even expression on its face. But with history, this is certainly more in the realm of religion, but
What?
history of this temple, while you're not perfectly familiar with it, it is hiding this room.
Should we get some footage, some battle cam footage?
I'll take a picture though.
I'll do some cameras too, because it's easy.
Do you know what this is?
Well, I do know that for being a under race, it has some sort of relationship to sumptuary creatures, such as the Juragar and Drow, which used to live in this continent before the other races came.
Your only actual in-depth extra piece of information is that there is definitely one symbol of a rat humanoid god. Gives you a good indicator that some sort of extra subterranean this or this. You see behind, right here, where there is a larger amount of rubble, and you just can't see it, but it's okay. There is this crawl space, comfortably 3 to 4 feet tall. No, 3 feet tall. This half dome is at the back half of the chamber, and it looks like it is an entrance, maybe to the sewer, maybe to a very, very old tunnel, even further down.
Do we know holds most secrets that many of the invading races didn't understand much, and this is probably one of them. Because the records were lost over the colonization, but they didn't really think of too much about recording it as a part of history. So it was told as religious tales. So I believe to be told. But rat people, not too knowledgeable about this, but it is definitely a marvel, to say the least.
You're not proficient, but either of you want to roll me a religion check?
I'm untrained.
That's okay.
I do profession.
Yeah.
I do profession.
Sure, for which...
Good natural.
Still religion, but just using my profession.
It's trained early.
16.
No,
I got that 20.
that's okay. That's
Be like a minus.
16.
okay. A
Discretion.
natural 20.
That's my next level. I get a rank.
Most land gods are not familiar, but the chaotic neutral god of river travel, rivers and smuggling rings a bell to you.
I like this god.
Chaos, death, travel, and water
Oh.
are its domains. Hanspur. Hanspur.
Instead,
A chaotic god of rats.
I am the rat king.
Actually, it just sparked my mind. This seems to be a shrine of Hansen. Smuggling, water, and chaos.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I'm surprised I actually realized it sooner than before we left.
So why is this here?
Well, I don't know much about tribal stuff around here, but Loki would be more familiar with this shit.
So we gotta go back and get
But from what Simpson has said, there's something behind this knowledge.
something that's kept close.
A dark secret
Seems to be.
that may be connected to your strange.
That's where we will cut. You two. Loki, you look out as the two of them have disappeared now for about 5 minutes. You smell it?
I put my head down a little desk, like one of the turned over desk kind of thing.
Yeah. Turn over desk, there's a perfect space where some stuff would be put. You put a head in there. Hey, you actually see it's tiny.
Oh. Is it full?
Do you pick it up?
We can flush.
You pick it up, and
Give eggs slosh.
there is some stuff which you hear. The moment you hear it, you see from the circular hole, there isn't any visible indent, but you just see it start to stream out. Heavily aged ale, stagnant, and there wasn't that much. It was the bottom of the barrel.
There we go.
His face is coming.
I come back up after a minute.
You feeling okay now?
Whoa. Oh, you know Cornell?
They went down the hole. I'm too large.
How long have you known Cornell?
Oh, I've known him all my time for free.
Which is how long?
Around a day and 2 days and a bit.
So you've never done anything like that before?
No.
Right.
It'll be fine. Okay.
You can see something like that and say, it'll be fun.
Not the worst I've seen.
Are you still holding since Emma said that you put it down?
It's right next to me on the desk, just staring.
Covered in a line of another. His face is wet. When before it wasn't, but you can smell an old ale.
Where did his body go?
I have no clue.
I think there's something inside Cornell.
There's something inside all of us.
Don't get fucking cute with me.
He does not sound the same.
Are you okay? Very.
I look okay. You can't fit down that hole, can you?
No. 20. That's that photo.
Oh no, he is. Yeah, no, he is. I mean, I don't know if we need to take a spoil anything. But
Just like, are you feeling you like rattle or like
I think rattle
Afraid.
absolutely. Yeah. Wide-eyed.
I've seen dark stuff before. I've known people with things inside of them they can't control. But Cornell doesn't seem to know anything about whatever he is, and that makes it worse.
not knowing some people can be a danger?
Grok took all of the documents.
You actually see the only document that probably wasn't taken is the one that was on. Actually, Felix, can you pass me all of the papers?
Go. If I walk over to the hole, can I fit down the hole? Is it stairs or
Your
like straight
body,
drops?
technically, with the sarcophagus moved to the full back, could. But you don't know how you get back up because it's about an 8-foot drop with no stairs. No.
I could probably get down, but I might not be able to get back up. Lift, like 2 tons? Yeah, I don't think I can get back up.
I can try to push you.
That's why I asked.
Covered in blood.
Good.
Still on the ground. This is what he was holding, and then Cornell was holding.
I love the smell of burnt paper.
You begin to read it, and you realize,
Is this one coming?
word for word, really exactly what he was talking about. Said, it's like he wanted, like he couldn't think without it being on paper.
This isn't coming, right? Should we understand anything of what he was saying?
I assumed it was some magic stuff.
No, Noivra. Noivra
Is that Centaur language? I understand all of his languages except Centaur.
is specifically a word that is connected to the birthplace of the ancestral heart you have. Is connected to that word, Noivra.
If I have no clue where anything said. Nothing, not a single word.
Yeah, I got like.
No, you can look through it all. It hasn't been long enough to say you've looked through it all. If you want to look through it all,
I can't read any of that. I don't know what you just said. I don't know.
no. If you want to read through it all, there may be something in there that you can read. I'm just not telling you unless you look through it.
Yeah, I got like one note out of what he was talking.
Don't worry, his entire talk was scripted.
Actually, is there anything in there in Sylvan? Do you read Sylvan? Anything in there in that language?
Is there? Saying it's Sylvan.
That word there.
Mm.
It's pronounced Noivra, and it means life force in Sylvan.
Other than Noifa,
Marifa?
but then it's paired up with a common word.
What's the common word?
The quest.
That is curious because the old name of this continent was Marifa, right?
He was going on about the old religious magics that are the same as, or similar today. This is a
Well,
Professor
in
Dagenfond.
that case, I think you're mistaken about the religious part. Because if you're looking at theory for that age of magic, that was what religion was. Today, that was like a empire reign. Theories. Oh,
Damn, Monkey's so smart. That one intelligence is
God, he's so
crazy.
fucking giga.
I'm going to help the smart people, and you're doing well on your own.
yeah, I could totally get the right history shit. I just know this that clear shit.
I thought you forgot. I'm like, and then you're like, I haven't read it like this. No, you have not. It's actually one of the things I thought would be separated amongst the group, but makes sense.
I didn't even realize I was the guy that killed him until like 5 minutes later. I was too busy writing notes.
I'm sorry.
It
That
kinda,
was a lot of note writing right before you didn't kill someone.
I'm gonna write all the notes on it.
As far as I'm aware, also, that does not count to kill record.
I don't think we're taking notes.
I don't think
for that.
I will.
Okay, Well, you don't have to put that one down.
I mean, you can because Loki definitely thinks so. But
Yeah.
do you know what the word bequest means?
In Stolen?
No, in English.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's not requesting something.
Basically,
It's like a different context or
ancient request. Bequest is a dead bode, an aged debt.
Yeah, but it's not like someone requests something, like a group of stuff like.
I prefer the word bequeath. It sounds like
lost
queef.
with age.
Or just be real stuff.
Very true. Very true. Nobility. Royalty.
Rock, I think we should head back.
Do I think?
Don't hear them.
Does it mention any locations or specific?
Look, I think we should go.
Everything.
Do I think he wrote this, or that somebody wrote this for him?
Probably help working out two of us.
It seems almost too well worded to be him, and you're
Yeah.
reading it almost
I don't like it down here
so
either.
maybe not.
That's good.
His wife
Any of the writing in the stickers or the silver stone, any of it's silver.
Controlling your blood first. And accepting that as
Any of it's similar to the ruins of I've seen.
Sure.
What the fuck are you talking about?
We have to find this
or at least, yeah, not
It happens to everyone your age.
Professor Dagenfond.
When I was little, I was
I went through the same thing.
horrible scared.
Dagenfond's royal blindness.
I wanted to kill him.
I don't know why that is, but it's from the Polluter Assembly, so.
You should grow out of it.
Yeah.
So good.
It's just a vase.
Rock and Cornell will cut it, but you turn around,
Yeah.
knowing what you know, you track back, and it is about 20 more minutes before that dark, narrow tunnel. You begin to hear noises again, sounds of conversation above you.
So we had the 5 volumes of books.
As one. This is some ancient knowledge of
5 volumes.
about from before the elves came here.
That would be. Well, in that case, whoever took this knowledge wants to use it a few places. Well, I say a few. It's quite a lot of places to be elected.
And then you hear steps echoing from one specific point, closer and closer, louder and louder.
Yeah. Oh, the outside.
Them and underneath you.
All things like that.
What's that for, Lord? Philologist?
What?
Is that a thing? What is it? Sorry, no.
My boys found ourselves a dungeon.
It's pretty close to anthropology, but no, I'm not gonna say no.
Complex.
It's just another study.
Just
Some of them.
It's a sewer protected
I'm not a
by God.
university student, so these are made up words.
was the architecture done there different than the one up here?
Yes. That's why we're gonna go investigate it.
In fact, it looks different in two, like almost 2 ages, 2 different.
I see Cornell come up and I just stare at his arm.
Murky has a very weird face kind. It's like
Put it behind my back.
I'm thinking very hard.
It's like it's hanging between his but
It's a temple of Hunza.
Hunspur.
Hunspur.
S-P-U-R.
Correct. Oh, is this the upper temple? Is Hunspur.
No. The upper temple appears to just be basically
Random
a
temple.
giant mausoleum
Oh,
with a single.
down there. I might recognize the name. I don't know off the top of my head. But
This you well, if you read common,
Don't worry, we can help you get out.
the Great Lord Blackfang.
no. Do I recognize Huns?
Hunspur. That is. It's a name that seems a bit religious,
Good.
but
Pickle? Right?
not necessarily.
Very well, fun. You going down?
If we can help you out to get out.
Okay, very well.
We'll have to go.
Yes. So you jump down into the.
Yeah.
Okay. This is complicated.
I'll do an acrobatics check if you want.
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
That one.
So I expect him to stumble onto something like this today.
Oh, you stumbled.
Murky stumbles. You just hear this loud, distant.
That makes me feel slightly better.
Please don't break your legs. We'll have to put you
You're
down.
gonna have to put it down, yeah.
Try.
Well, you wouldn't be able to chase us.
Fuck.
And in that awkward silence,
Thanks,
you
Grant.
hear one distant.
Oh shit, I think I worked something.
It is above you, and it is definitely to the north. But a rumbling in the
Oh.
sky.
Rumbling.
Very, very faint.
So fun.
Sounds like it's bringing a storm. And that is where we will end. Episode 6, Episode 1, Episode, we don't know. We figured it out.
Wow, what?
The system is nuts, but we're all learning, and I'm having a great time. So, I mean, guys,
It's fun.
Go read your best.
catch you next week.
I'm the one with the light. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. Bigger they are, harder they fall.